Friday night means many things in Connecticut. One of those things is high school football. TheDay.com presents to you its continuing coverage of high school sports. Tonight, broadcasting live from the campus of Stonington High School as the 0-2 Stonington High School Bears play host to the 2-0 Whippets of Windham High School. Casey O'Neill along with the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, and tonight is a tale of two programs in two very different places.
Yeah, Casey, welcome. Good to see you again. Friday night, lights here on the GameDay.com. Windham comes into this game 2-0, dramatic win in Week 1 at Waterford, a workmanlike win last week at home versus Griswold. And at this point, Coach Brian Cruden says his defense is actually ahead of his offense, and he's really not sure what kind of a team he's sitting on, but we will find out tonight. Coach Cruden, we know, has been in the business for over 40 years and still has an ability, Casey, to relate, teach, and lead a group of young men on a high school front. So he's an all-time great in the state of Connecticut in high school football. And as for the home team, the Stonington Bears, 0-2, searching for a win.
Windham will kick off going right to left. The kick is off, and it will take a bounce down to the Stonington 10-yard line, where Hunter Floyd will pick it up, and Floyd takes it all the way back to the 25-yard line, and the Stonington High School Bears will have the first possession of the ball game. They'll be going left to right on your imaginative screens, and we'll see right away it was described to us as 3 yards and a cloud of rubber.
Stonington's going to have to grind out some yards tonight. They're a very, very young football team, a little bit inexperienced, but an electrifying quarterback taking the helm for the Bears.
Of course, that is Amadi White, one of the seniors. He's a big quarterback, good pass thrower. He will have Nick DeDominicus in the backfield with him right now. Pitch instead goes to Hunter Floyd. Floyd taken down almost immediately by Alfred Gomez Medina, one of those linebackers of Windham. And A.J. Massengale, the coach of Stonington, said he was very concerned about the speed that Windham brings to the table on both sides of the football.
Yeah, very, very aggressive defensive scheme for Windham. They like to bring people, bring linebackers, and their safeties can certainly make tackles in the open field as well, Case. 2nd
and 12. Ball sits at the 24-yard line of Stonington. Stonington, of course, in their traditional home gold pants with the brown tops, the gold helmets. Windham in their visiting blue pants with the white jerseys and red helmets. Handoff. Again up the middle and nothing there. Once again, Windham not allowing any running room that time. Floyd had nowhere to go. Stonington's going to try to use a number of backs. Nick Teresi, Hunter Floyd, and Nick DeDominicus are the main three, but they're going to try to use multiple backs. They like to try to run the ball in between the tackles, but not an easy time of it against this stout Windham defense.
Pretty much the signature of this Windham team throughout the course of the years is, playing tough defense. And again, Coach Cruden certainly thinks at this point in the season, Game 3, Casey, his defense is light years ahead of his offense.
Tight formation. DeDominicus is the setback. White under center. He barks a call, and we get a little jump. We're going to get our first flag of the game. It looks like the Whippets may have jumped across offsides. That'll give 5 yards to Stonington.
Hard count by the quarterback. White will bring up 3rd and 8, which is better than 3rd and 12 or 13. Casey, a little undisciplined and maybe a little bit eager on the defensive side of the ball for Windham.
And Amadi White, that's one of the things that the senior leader can bring to the table. He was very calm back there. He's not going to be rattled, despite a number of new faces on both sides of the ball tonight for Stonington. Some new names out there tonight, and Amadi White is not one of them, though. He is a veteran. He's a senior, and he's been doing this a while. So they're going to rely on him, and he can throw the football. He's got Floyd as one wing, DeDominicus in motion, fake, straight back. Floyd, look, the screen goes to Teresi, but he is brought down almost immediately on the play. Great coverage that time by Luis Torres, the defensive back of the Whippets. 3 and out, if you will, and a punt for Stonington.
Torres out on an island for the Whippets that time. One-on-one coverage on the wide receiver. Good open field tackle, Casey. And we've seen in the first 2 games, if a defensive back misses that tackle, then you've got 10 or 15 yards. Some good sound football early going by the Whippets defense.
Pass could have been intercepted. Pass certainly could have gone for longer, but instead we have our first punt of the game, and Stonington will be punting it away, standing at their own 12-yard line. Snap is good, and the kick by Seamus Wallace is high end over end, and it will go out of bounds in Windham territory. They'll mark it down at about the 35-yard line. The official still walking all the way up to the 36. So Windham will take over 1st and 10 at its own 36-yard line. Great punt by the senior number 9, Seamus Wallace of the Bears. And now comes perhaps the harder part for Stonington tonight, defending a very physical Whippets team.
You're going to hear a lot of running backs and fullbacks called tonight for the Windham Whippets. 3 yards and a cloud of dust for the Whips.
Senior quarterback Brody Labby will be leading the charge for the Whippets, and you'll hear a lot of the name Seiji Arzwaga. He is the big, robust 6-foot fullback in the backfield. Hand off to Cullen Contos. Contos gets the edge. Contos into the outside, breaks it, a tackle, and is all the way up to midfield. First down on the very first play. Great run by Cullen Contos, and he has the Windham first down. They will set up shop now in Stonington territory at the 48-yard line.
Yeah, right to left sweep that time by the Whippets, and once Contos turned the corner, Casey, he found his way through. Good, strong pickup on first down into Bears territory. We'll bring up 1st and 10 at the 48.
Labby, the senior, 6 foot, 175 pounds, can throw it, but will rely on a multitude of backs tonight. In the backfield, as we said, Arzwaga. Going out is Cullen along with him. So split backs, Cullen and Arzwaga. Labby hands to Arzwaga off the left tackle in. Not a lot there, as a nice job of the Stonington High School interior. Tackle made on the play by number 85 for Stonington. That's Adam Flakus, along with linebacker number 32, Owen Donahue.
Arzwaga's a big kid. He's got a little bit of that Christian Okoye feel to him in the backfield. He's very, very strong up top. He's got some big legs, and head goes down and pushes forward for a positive gain on first down.
6 feet, 205 pounds is Arzwaga, as big as many high school linemen.
The big kid.
Willie Brown split out to the left for Whippets on 2nd and 8. Interior handoff, it goes to Contos. Contos breaks a tackle. Contos has a first down. Ball's on the turf. But a heads-up play. Tyreek Baker, number 7 for the Whippets, was heads up and falls on the ball at the 30-yard line. After Contos had a first down, the ball was stripped. And Tyreek Baker saves Windham. And instead, first down Windham at the 30.
Yeah, a little thunder and lightning approach and back-to-back running plays for the Whippets. A little size up front, and Contos mixes it up, a little speed, a little jitterbug style going through the middle. Windham lucky to get the ball back. Very opportunistic play by the wide receiver.
They are the 3 seniors. Coach Brian Crudden said they would be the ones leading the charge tonight. Labby, inside it goes to Arzwaga. Arzwaga breaking tackles and dragging people along, including number 14, that's Nick DiDominicus. Stonington thin tonight. All those offensive stars of the Bears are playing on both sides of the ball, including the quarterback. We don't see that a lot anymore, but Amadi White is one of the defensive backs for Stonington.
Yeah, and isn't it funny that Coach Crudden, the 3 seniors we're going to be calling all night, are also tri-captains, Casey, so they are the leaders of the team, the true leaders on and off the field.
Willie Brown, split left, dual backfield. Handoff goes to Luis Torres, and not much there that time, as Torres tried to get it in between the tackle and the guard on the right side, but was met in the hole by big number 54 of Stonington. That's Drew Bailey. 2
linebackers for the Stonington Bears up that time, creeping up to the line, trying to stuff things up the middle a little bit. Good defensive stand on second down.
Stonington playing physical defense so far. There's no secrets between these two. They are both going to know what the other team is looking to do. 3rd and 4.
Well, they're going to have to.
Windham is going to want to run the ball here. Nothing's fancy about Coach Brian Crudden's offense. Willie Brown split left. You've got Arzwaga and Contos in the backfield. Labby runs the option, keeps it himself. Labby in the open, first down, breaks another tackle, heading toward the end zone. Touchdown, Brody Labby. What a nice run by the senior quarterback of the Windham Whippets.
A great cutback as the Stonington Bears defense was over-pursuing. Labby saw the cutback lane and did the rest of the job himself to pay dirt.
6-0. Windham here early. 6:05 remaining here in the first period. And the Whippets draw first. They 6-0 on a nice touchdown run by senior tri-captain Brody Labby. On to kick the extra point. he'll stay. Now, that's what I like. I like a quarterback who can do multiple things.
Sure.
Labby will stay on for the extra point. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is up, and it is good. And with 6:05 remaining in the first period, your score is going to be Windham 7, Stonington nothing. There was a flag on the play.
Yeah, it looks to be roughing the kicker. A little continuation play will march off the yardage on the kickoff. But, no secret to what Windham did here in the first drive, Casey. We knew they were going to come out, run the ball, fullback, halfback, little option look down the line. So no secrets here early by the Whips. You know what you're going to get. You just got to stop it.
And then the Stonington coach, A.J. Massengale, was concerned about the speed of the backs, the physicality of Windham. We saw both of those things there on that first drive. Now, game day, brought to you by the M.J. Sullivan Automotive Center, the Science and Technology Magnet School of Southeastern Connecticut, and Lawrence and Memorial Hospital. This first quarter is sponsored by the M.J. Sullivan Automotive Center. Now, M.J. Sullivan Hyundai, where no money down means no money down. You can lease a 2015 Hyundai Sonata Sport for no money down and only $279 a month for 36 months. They'll pay your first payment. They'll pay your upfront sales tax, and they'll even pay your registration and dealer conveyance fees. You pay $0 down and only $279 a month for a 2015 Hyundai Sonata Sport, only at M.J. Sullivan, corner of Broad and Coleman Streets in New London. See the entire inventory at mjsullivanauto.com. Labby, the senior quarterback kicker, will stay on to kick off for Windham. Back deep for the Bears, Hunter Floyd, along with Nick Teresi. From his own 45, Labby gets the official's whistle, and we will have a kickoff. Labby with a long spiraling kick taken by Floyd at the 5-yard line. Floyd headed straight up the field. He's got a seam. Good blocking. Floyd into the open. Nice return by Floyd all the way to the 45-yard line. Nice return by senior Hunter Floyd. Good field position for the Bears all the way to their own 44-yard line.
Yeah, very important here for Stonington, Casey, on their second possession of the game to get something going on a positive note. They got a lot of young players out there. Team needs to show a little bit of spirit, get a good drive going here on offense after Windham marched right down the field with their first possession. They set up shop in real good position here at the 44-yard line.
Let's see if they continue to try to run the ball, or if we're going to see Amadi White put the ball in the air. He does have some experienced receivers on first down. DeDominicus in the backfield. White hands the ball off. Instead, it goes to Teresi, and nothing there. Teresi slammed to the turf. Second down and no gain.
Stat Guru has arrived. The Stat Guru is here. He is looking around. I will grab him, Case. Go ahead.
The Stat Guru has arrived. All right, we're waiting for him to...
I'll grab him.
Second down and 10 for Stonington. Ball at the 43-yard line. 5:28 remaining in the first period. Amadi White has DeDominicus as his lone setback. In motion goes Teresi. Teresi gets the pitch around right end, looking for an edge, and not going to get there. Tyreek Baker, the defensive back for Windham, comes flying up to make the tackle after a gain of about 4. So positive yardage that time for Stonington on the sweep to Teresi, but it's going to bring up third and long.
3 things I noticed about tonight's game early going. It's a beautiful night for fall football, very crisp. You have no sweat on your forehead, and you look really good in your game day gear jacket.
Well, I love
I noticed these things.
I appreciate that. The cool, crisp fall air, no need for sweat, and the beautiful black, slimming game day pullover, courtesy of the powers that be at the day.com. Thank you, Day Paper and day.com. 3rd and 6. White in the shotgun for Stonington. We're going to see our first pass. In the flat, it goes to Teresi. Teresi breaks a tackle, but can't break the tackle of Seiji Arazawaga. And that's going to bring up 4th down and a Stonington punt. With 4:15 remaining here in the first period, Windham on top 7-0. Stonington just over midfield with a 4th and 4. And they're sending Amani White back into the ball.
They're going to go for it here, Case.
See if they want to go for it, crossing midfield. I figure they are big underdogs here tonight. Maybe they're going to try to keep the ball.
Look for a hard count here, maybe by the quarterback White to try and drive Windham off sides.
I think that makes a lot of sense. DeDominicus is the lone setback. In the shotgun, White fakes the handoff. Quarterback keeper, Amadi White, is going to have a Stonington first down. What a nice job that time. Great play call by A.J. Massengale and better execution by senior Amadi White.
Yeah, White, he kept the ball himself, went over the left side, and, good things for Stonington there. They needed something positive to happen, and I think Coach Massengill realized the longer his offense is on the field, it's probably better for his defense.
Yeah, and what's going to be gained, maybe net 20 yards on a punt there.
Sure.
Rather try to keep the ball, and with a lot of new faces and a lot of young kids right now, the Bears trying to establish something, and I think he wanted to find out what his kids were made of because he knows he's got the senior.
Early message. Sending an early message with an offense.
Dominicus is the lone set. White shotgun drops. White throws into the flat, and it is complete to number 16. That's Jack Donahue, the junior wide receiver. Gains 5 on first down. Nice throw by Amadi White. He got the ball out quickly.
Yeah, easy pitch and catch there. 3-step drop. Donahue turned around, and White hit him right between the numbers. And, not too fancy on the after the catch. Donahue got his 5 yards and took his hit, and 2nd and 5 case.
After some early struggles going with the running game, Stonington has gone to the shotgun for the last few plays and had a little bit more success.
Confusing the Windham defense here a little bit, too, in the early going.
4 wide receivers. White in the shotgun. Fakes to Dominicus. Keeps it himself and is hit very quickly by Barbosa Torres, the linebacker for Windham. Gain of maybe a yard. It's going to bring up 3rd and a short 4.
Casey, when an offense runs the spread option, very important to block the people up front. Put a hat on a hat. Let the quarterback choose his lane. So a little bit of miscommunication there in the Stonington offensive line, which kind of stuffed things for no gain. But I like what Stonington has done here in the last few plays as far as spreading things out, mixing things up. And it's got the Windham defense back there dancing on the heels a little bit.
Just under 2 minutes now remaining here in the first period. 7-0 Windham, but Stonington with the ball in Windham territory at the 40-yard line. Amadi White, straight drop out of the shotgun. Plenty of time. Throws the ball down the middle of the field. Oh, and it's off the hands of Hunter Floyd all the way at the 25-yard line. Floyd would have had a first down, but ball came off the numbers as he was sliding to the turf. Tough catch as he was sliding down, but one that I'm sure Floyd would like back. It's going to bring up 4th and 5, but
very good throw by White. He delivered the strike.
If you go for it last time,
you got to go for it again.
At the 39-yard line of Windham, 4th and 5.
Well, that was a nice throw, too. Nice throw, Case.
4 wide. Jack Donahue, the far split to the right. White in the shotgun. White, straight drop. Has a man. Ball is tipped and incomplete. He had Lennox Deer running, galloping in the open, but a nice play by the Windham secondary. Turnover on downs, and the Whippets will have their second possession already with a 7-0 lead.
Now, I like the message that Coach Massengill is trying to send to his team here early. We're going to take a few chances tonight. We're going to gamble a little bit. We're going to throw the ball. Just because we're a little short-handed and we're a little young, it's not an excuse not to play big-time football on a Friday night under the lights at Stonington High School.
1:44 here remaining in the first period. 7-0. Willie Brown goes out split left for Windham, guarded one-on-one by Hunter Floyd. Labby under center, trying to draw them off. Labby hands the ball off to Contos. Contos off the left tackle, breaks a tackle, heads back to the middle of the field. Nice gain on first down by Cullen Contos, bringing up a 2nd and 2.
Contos has tremendous cutback ability. Once he hits the hole, Casey, he makes his way up to the line, and he's a very, very patient runner as well. He turns the corner, he makes the cutback, and he has the ability to hit the Jets. Positive yardage, 8 yards for Contos on first down.
He's tiny, 5'6", 145.
Shifty back.
Shifty is the right word.
Shifty.
Willie Brown split left. Arzwaga and Contos in the backfield. And we've got movement. Getting a little bit of had much of a head start that time was Xavier Torres Vieira, the left tackle. He jumped, and that's going to back Windham up 5 to make it 2nd and 7.
I count 5 officials out there and see 4 flags, so they all saw the same thing, Casey O'Neill.
A little bit overzealous was Torres Vieira, but Windham now sets up shop with a 2nd and 8. Ball at the 42-yard line of the Whippets. Whippets, of course, being a breed of dogs.
You like that. You like their mascot as well.
Similar to the Greyhound. They
like
are
their mascot.
A sleek running dog. We love the Whippets. Labby to Cullen up the middle. Cullen nothing there this time. Nice job by the interior of the Stonington defense. We see Flakus getting up off the turf along with 44, Travis Pacheco. Nice job that time by the linebacking core of the Bears. No gain. 3rd and long now for Windham. Ball at the 42-yard line, 3rd and 7.
wasn't too sure what a whippet was till I came here tonight. You have educated the sports doctor, like you always do.
You know what a bear is, right?
Sure.
Okay, so now you have both mascots, a bear and a...
No, I knew it.
and a dog.
No, this guy's good.
Willie Brown split wide right for Windham here on a 3rd and 8. Labby fakes the handoff, rolls right. He wants to throw, keeps it himself. Labby's in the open, and he's going to get a first down just past midfield. Brody Labby breaking the tackle that time of Owen Donahue, who had the best chance to get him before the first down. But he crosses midfield, and Windham will retain possession at the Stonington 49-yard line.
The Stonington defensive line did everything they possibly could to disrupt that play. They were in the backfield. That was all Labby. He kept his legs moving and picked up a nice gain on 3rd and 8. He picked up 9 yards.
That is the end of the first quarter. A very brisk first quarter played because these two teams like to run the ball. The Windham Whippets with the football and a 7-0 lead. Of course, you're listening to Game Day live on theday.com as well as the Day app. You've got Casey O'Neill along with the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, the very dapper stat guru who had some issues tonight. The stat guru, it is tough being the stat guru.
No, he's okay. He's up to speed now. He's in the game.
But he had to handle some family. He had to handle, it's tough. You had to be accountable to your family. He's a good stat guru, but he got here. The second quarter of tonight's game is brought to you by the Science and Technology Magnet School of Southeastern Connecticut. Now, the Science and Technology Magnet School of Southeastern Connecticut is the region's leading STEM-themed school. The nationally recognized magnet program prepares students to succeed, not just during their 4 years of high school, but for the future beyond the magnet school. Transform your passion for science, technology, engineering, or math. That's what STEM stands for, science, technology, engineering, or math. Transform it to reality at STMHS. They are now accepting applications for next school year. Learn more and apply online at nlstmhs.org.
A full slate of high school football games throughout the ECC. We'll get to some of the scores here a little later in the second quarter. But high school football in full swing this weekend in southeastern Connecticut.
1st and 10 Windham at the Stonington 49-yard line, up 7-0. Inside handoff goes to Arzwaga, and he's got a hole. It's a race to the end zone, and the big man is going to go in for a Windham touchdown.
Long run by the Whips.
Seiji Arzwaga with a 49-yard touchdown run. At 6 feet, 205 pounds, he showed the burst.
Casey, you bust through that first line of defenders, and the field was wide open. A lot of green grass or turf in front of him, and there was nothing stopping Arzwaga on that play.
13-0. Windham on top. The extra point will be attempted by quarterback Brody Labby. He's looking to put Windham on top 14-0, but it's hard enough when Windham out-physicals you. When you give up a big play like that, very disheartening for the Bears.
An extra point is up, and it is no good. Casey, the big thing with a play like that is you know that Windham's going to run that. So when a man like that runs totally free, is there a misassignment? Is there a player not in the right spot? Where are the safeties on that? So, the linebackers are creeping up. So, to me, is that more of a great offensive play or just a bit of a falling asleep on the Stonington defense?
Well, what happens is sometimes teams are better than you in certain areas. And what we saw was, okay, so if I'm going to maintain my assignment to not give up the Arzwaga ball up the middle, if I'm going to maintain that assignment, then when Cullen gets the ball with that, Cullen Contos, with that shifting and speed and that cutback, then after a couple of those plays are successful, I stay, okay, I still got to maintain my assignment. And then the quarterback, Brody Labby, drops back and runs for a first down, and runs for another first down on an option play. So now, as the lineman, I start to cheat just a little bit. I say, I got to maintain my assignment, but I'm cheating a little bit because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking Cullen Contos and Brody Labby. And all it takes is that little cheat, and you just get turned, and he's through.
And Windham has shown that ability now on all three different phases of the game, whether it's a quarterback keeping it down the line, whether it's Contos on a sweep, or Arzwaga going up the middle. So, it's one of those things. What's coming next? If you cheat on something, well, we're going to burn you on the back end of something else.
D. Dominicus and Teresi, along with Aaron Beausoleil, their deep backs. Labby, long end-over-end kick, taken by Lennox Deere. Deere, still on his feet, And nice return by Lennox Deer up to the 35-yard line. Stonington trailing 13-0 has the ball at their own 35-yard line, going right to left in your imagination. Stonington in the home gold and brown. Windham in the
some sharp
blue and
uniforms.
white.
I like Stonington's uniforms. They're very, very sharp.
Well, brown's a dangerous color because brown can be really ugly as a
I wear
uniform.
brown every day.
But Stonington, I think, does have the nicest of the brown uniforms.
I wear brown
as far as
every day.
brown uniforms go, what can brown do for you? Can employ you.
Shameless plug.
Amadi White, the senior quarterback, under center for Stonington. Hands the ball off on the left edge. It goes to Aaron Beausoleil. Beausoleil getting his first carry of the evening along off left tackle, and he bounced it outside for maybe 3. 2nd and 7 for Stonington. The officials, the chain crew has to fix that. It's not 4th down. There we go. 2nd down. Chain crew was a little confused, but
they're trying to confuse the guys in the booth. They were not confusing Casey O'Neill.
No, you're not confusing me. Not yet. Or later on in the maybe. 2nd and we'll call it 6. Amadi White under center. He's got Beausoleil in the backfield. Hands the ball off. This time it goes to Hunter Floyd for a gain of 2 as Hunter Floyd off that wing tee took the ball from one of the wings, and not much there. Stout Windham defense.
Yeah, Windham defense is very active. We talked about the speed in the opening and how quickly they move to the ball. And, you know, there's a lot of people that flock to the ball. It's not just the defensive linemen. There seems to be always help by the Windham defense. A lot of people moving to the ball. Nobody caught out of position. Good, solid defense. Stout is the good word for that.
10:34 remaining here in the first half. Stonington, long 3rd down and 3. Amadi White trying to draw off Windham. Instead, hands the ball straight up the middle to D. Dominicus. And D. Dominicus puts his head down and drags people right up to the first down marker at the 45-yard line. We're going to wait for a spot. First down, Stonington on the hard run by D. Dominicus. 1st and 10 now. Bears at their own 45-yard line.
Straight power on that run as D. Dominicus just got on the center's back, and the whole entire front line from the Bears moved bodies and picked up a crucial first down, Casey. Keep the ball in the hands of your offense. That is Stonington's best defense tonight, could be their offense.
Trying to play keep away right now. The less they give Windham the ball, the better. Handoff again up the middle. It goes to D. Dominicus. Not a lot there this time, maybe 2, as the center of the Windham line really stepped up, including Seiji Arzuaga, the fullback who just scored the last Windham touchdown. And big number 55, Xavier Torres Vieira, in on those tackles. The linebackers of Windham, very big and very physical.
And New London at Fitch tonight, NFA at East Lyme, Plainfield at Montville, Waterford at Killingly, Windham here at Stonington, and tomorrow Ledyard at Bacon.
That's the game of the week.
Football in the ECC.
That is the game of the week, one of the best games in the state this week, perhaps. White, straight drop back, he's pressured. Tries to keep it himself, and he is going to get pinned inside, still on his feet. Amadi White fighting, but not going to be able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. He is going to be sacked. Coming off the pile that time was Xavier Torres Vieira along with Alfred Gomez Molina. And that is going to bring up 3rd and 9 for Stonington with the ball at the 46-yard line. Now with just under 9 minutes remaining here in the first half.
A bit of an uncomfortable down and distance here for the Stonington offense, especially with a young team. You know, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. I would imagine that Coach Mazingale would like to see 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, Casey O'Neill.
We saw the first pressure that time on Amadi White, the first sack of the game. Timeout, Stonington on 3rd and 9. So, interesting game tonight at New London and Fitch. New London had that big win week 1 against East Lyme, who, of course, then lost to Fitch. So you have to wonder how good that win was. They come back with a heartbreaking loss to Bacon Academy, where Bacon Academy really sort of made its statement about it being maybe the next set of the next team in the ECC after your NFA Ledyard.
Yeah, I went to the game last week on Saturday morning with Mike DeMar and watched the game, and I talked to some of the New London coaches afterwards, whether it was Coach Miranda or Major Roman. And the big thing that they said is they were surprised on how well Bacon handled New London's front on both sides of the ball. And when you look at a school like Bacon and where that football program has come, I mean, you're talking about picking off a historic program in New London. And now it doesn't get any easier because Ledyard, who's been one of the better teams in the last 3 or 4 years, comes rolling into town tomorrow. Bacon has a chance to make a real big statement, not only in the league, but in the state tomorrow, Casey.
Yeah, Bacon is playing a team that hasn't given up a point yet. And the high-scoring Bacon offense will be tested tomorrow for sure against a very good Ledyard defense. 3rd and 9, White in the shotgun. DeDominicus in motion. White rolling right. Pressure. White, long downfield pass. He's got a man wide open. And caught by Jack Donahue, the junior wide receiver, all the way down to the 10-yard line on a 60-yard throw by Amadi White.
Amadi White, quick on his feet, looking downfield to Donahue. Seems to be the hot connection here early for the Bears. What a strong arm shown by White on that play. 50 yards in the air, Casey O'Neill.
He was crushed by Luis Torres, who got there a step too late, and Donahue was 15 yards ahead of the Windham secondary. I don't think they thought he could throw the ball that far.
No, I didn't. I didn't. 50 yards in the air.
1st and 10. DeDominicus is the lone set. In motion, Teresi. White rolls. White keeps. White pressured. Still throws into the corner of the end zone. He's got a man. Touchdown, Stonington Bears. Nick Teresi. And that play was entirely Amadi White.
White making things happen with his feet and then making things happen with his arm. And the big thing about Amadi White, these last 2 plays and these big pass plays, he kept his head up and kept looking down the field the entire play. Stonington back in the mix.
In all sports, that's important. As a guard in basketball, you always have to
gotta see what's going on. Very heady play.
Your favorite sport, soccer, you always got to be looking up at the field. And that's
off the record.
Amadi White, forget the size, like you said, of breaking the tackles. He stuck with it, and what a great play. Seamus Wallace in for the extra point, but we're going to get an offsides. Cullen Contos jumped to the line. That'll be 5 yards on Windham, but Amadi White that time on back-to-back plays. On the first big long pass play, he stood in the pocket with pressure and delivered a ball 50 yards downfield. And then on that play, broke 2 or 3 tackles. There was nothing there.
Right.
And he had patience to find Teresi in the corner.
Eyes ahead, eyes downfield the entire time. He never lost his sense of where he was in the field and his receivers.
An energizing play for Stonington as they have cut the Windham lead to 13-6. Seamus Wallace, the senior place kicker for Stonington, in to attempt the extra point. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is up, and it is good. And with 8 minutes on the dot, 8 minutes even remaining in the first half, the Stonington High School Bears have cut it to 6. 13-7 Windham.
We got a ball game here tonight, Casey. Stonington coming to play. Big crowd here tonight, too. Nice crowd for Friday Night Lights, and huge plays by the Stonington offense and Amadi White. And I guess that's what a senior does. A senior steps up, coach, put the game in my hands, put it on my shoulders. We're a little short-staffed tonight. We're very young. You know, guys, I will lead you to the promised land.
You know, if you had to have one position in high school football on offense where you had a senior leader, quarterback's the position you're going to want. The ball's in his hands every play. They're going to get creative with what they do with him. But it's not just his athletic ability, which was evident, or his toughness, which was also evident. It's his acumen, his football IQ.
Right, his composure.
He's drawn Windham off sides with a hard count. He has, kept his head up and known where his receivers is going to be. That's a senior quarterback who knows where people are supposed to be. So it's not just that he had his heads up. He knew where Teresi was going to be, and that's how he was able to find him. So, can't say enough about what Amadi White did on those back-to-back plays to get that Stonington touchdown.
Well, I think he probably knows a little bit, too. This is a game where he's going to be under duress a little bit, and he's going to have to, improvise a little bit on the fly. And you know what? Sometimes the play is not going to go your way or is scripted, but he's hung in there very well. And you know what? Stonington's right back in this ball game, and they have new life on the sidelines, Casey. Look at the body language from these kids, and everybody's bouncing around. Beautiful night for Friday Night Football.
They are definitely pumped up. Stonington will kick off, again, down 13-7. Windham on top. Contos is back deep for the Whippets. Low line drive kick by Stonington on the turf, but picked up by Windham, and Windham's number 44, Alex Perez, returns it to the 40-yard line. So Windham will have the ball 1st and 10 at its own 40-yard line with just under 8 minutes to play here in the first half.
Have to be considered a squib kick or not.
Yeah, it's a squib.
Squib kick?
So we mentioned the big game, Bacon and Ledger, but I was saying the Fitch New London game.
Yeah, very, very, very interesting game. We saw Fitch last week. We saw, Rob Duncan, come of age a little bit last week, too, at East Lyme High School.
How much a week can change things. After week 1, New London's flying high. Fitch is wondering if it's ever going to win a football game again. Now, after last week, Fitch is flying high, and New London's saying, what the heck happened? So it'll be very interesting to see which of those two teams goes to 2-1 tonight.
Swing game. That's what you call those. Odd number games are swing games.
It is a swing game. Labby, senior quarterback for the Whippets, under center. Hands off up the middle to Arzuaga. Arzuaga breaking tackles and rumbling all the way down for 8 yards. Seiji Arzuaga is a beast.
And it was an arm tackle away from another 6 points. And Stonington's going to have to reassure some solidification, if that's a term or not I can use, but solidify the play up front, because Arzuaga has shown you not only once, not only twice, that he can pop that for some big yards.
Yeah, Jared Rodzinski was the last arm
tackle,
remaining.
yeah.
This time the Whippets send Willie Brown and Contos out left. Brown far left. Contos in the slot. Arzuaga the setback. Labby hands off to Arzuaga. He's got a first down and more. Breaks into the open, breaking tackles, and Seiji Arzuaga all the way to the 35-yard line. Not only is his name fun to say, he is fun to watch.
He is close to 100 yards already tonight in the first half. A big touchdown run, a couple of back-to-back big runs. And Arzuaga that time showed some quick feet in the hole. He started up the middle. He bounced to the left. He put his head down and got the last 5 on his own.
1st and 10 Windham at the Stonington 35-yard line.
Very important for Stonington's defense here to bend but not break on this drive, Casey.
Willie Brown out wide right. Contos and Arzuaga are in the backfield. Labby under center. Labby running the option instead, hands it off on a little reverse inside handoff to Contos, but the Stonington Bears heads up.
A little bit of a stunt on the defensive line that time by Stonington. Some players shifting a little bit, confused the Windham blockers, and Contos had nowhere to go up front, and he was looking for the cutback, believe me.
I thought when that play came off, I thought that play
You're going to pop it.
Yeah, I really did, because everything went right like it was going to be an option, which we've seen Labby score a touchdown on earlier, and instead reverses the ball to Contos, cutting back against the momentum of the defense. They're all trending one way, but they stayed at home. That's one of those assignment plays. Stonington stayed at home. Inside, pitch it, outside it goes. Nice job that time by Stonington again. Luis Torres took the option pitch from Labby as Torres came in motion off of the wing, and Labby looked like he was going to keep it, but instead made the pitch to Torres. But Stonington, again, stayed at home, 3rd and long for Windham.
A little too soon that time on the pitch by Labby. You need to really sell that and bring it down the line. It looks like Labby just took 2 steps down the line and pitched to Casey. But, the most successful option is when you can hold that ball and make the decision at the last second as a quarterback. A little too quick that time by Labby.
3rd and 7, 5:20 remaining here in the first half. Windham with the ball at the 34. Contos in motion. Labby rolls left in the flat. He's got Torres, but right away, Torres brought down in the secondary. Nice play out there by Stonington.
Number 22, Mike Morenzoni. Big play, big stop, one-on-one.
And that's going to bring up 4th and 5, but I think this is where you'll see Windham go for it now as well. Kind of no man's land offensively.
It is. Not unless you have Steven Gostowski on the sidelines.
29-yard line. The Whippets with it on 4th and 5. 4:35 remaining here in the first period. Labby rolls right, pressured, and he is sacked. Big sack that time
by you-know-who.
Amadi White, the senior quarterback of the Stonington Bears, showed that he can play defensive back as well, came up, stopped Labby, and what a big hold for the Stonington defense.
Yeah, option look. It did not work that time for the Whippets. And listen, Stonington needed that. The worst thing they could do is let Windham come down and march for another score, and White is making plays on both sides of the field.
Right now, Stonington with the ball at their own 34-yard line. 4 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the first half. Stonington trails 13-7, but I think Coach Massaguer would be perfectly happy if they just ran the rest of the clock out.
Well, we called momentum a fickle thing, and momentum right now on the side of the Bears.
DeDominicus is the lone setback for the Bears. Teresi on one of the wings. and senior quarterback Amadi White, who has thrown for a touchdown, made a fourth down tackle on the last play to stop a Windham drive, is under center. Handoff goes to Hunter Floyd, and Hunter Floyd takes it around the left end. Hunter Floyd's got some room, and a first down all the way up to midfield for Hunter Floyd.
Toss sweep, right to left, turn the corner, easy run that time. Stonington's got some mojo going, Casey. Big touchdown, big pass play, big stop on defense. Momentum is in their side right now.
Ball is at their own 48-yard line.
Side.
1st and 10, Stonington, 48-yard line. Teresi and Floyd are the wings in the wing tee. DeDominicus the lone set. Handoff up the middle goes to DeDominicus. Not a lot there. That tough interior Windham defense, Alex Perez, coming up off the pile.
9 men in the box that time for Windham. Too many bodies to block if you're the Stonington Bears that time.
Under 4 minutes to play here in the first half. 2nd and 9.
You know, when Stonington goes to that wing tee look, you know, Windham automatically throws 9 people in the box. And it's tough sledding up there.
Yeah, they've offensively, Stonington achieved their most success when Amadi White was in the shotgun, and they had 4 wide.
The spread.
From the wing tee, they have not had as much success. They're in the wing tee right now with Teresi and Floyd as the wings. DeDominicus is the set. Teresi in motion. Handoff again to DeDominicus. This time he's got some room. DeDominicus cuts it back inside, and he's going to have a first down.
Get a big block down the outside by the Stonington tight end. He's one of the new guys that has a new number in there. Number 85. He's not even on the list.
Sure he is. Number 85 is Adam Flakis.
Oh, you've got an updated sheet. Adam Flakis with a big block on the corner, held his ground on the edge, sprung the gain. 3rd and 1.
DeDominicus, I thought he had the first down. That is a tough spot right now, but he is mere chain link shy. Look for Amadi White to keep the ball this time. I think you're going to see a quarterback sneak. White, quarterback sneak, first down as he gets to the 40-yard line. Saw that one coming a mile away. You know you're not taking the ball out of the hands of your senior. That one, he's that size and he's that heads up of a player. You know that one was coming.
Yeah, 3rd and 1, 2 down territory there as well for the Stonington Bears. Nice pickup. Get behind your offensive center, get behind your tackle, and get an easy pickup that time for White.
Under 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Windham on top 13-7 over the home Stonington High School Bears. But the Bears have something cooking right now with the ball at the Windham 40-yard line. Nice first down run there by Amadi White. He has thrown a touchdown pass to Nick Teresi. And after an early 13-0 lead by Windham, Stonington has answered and come back with a defensive stop. And now driving the football, looking to get closer, tie, or perhaps even go ahead here late in the first half. DeDominicus is the lone set. In motion, Teresi. White, straight drop, looking for Teresi in the flat, and it is incomplete. And he heard the footsteps of Luis Torres.
Dangerous pass on the outside by White, one-on-one situation, and good stop there by the Windham defense. Oh, those swing passes. It kind of improvises for the short running game. Not a lot going on out the outside by the time by the Bears.
2:26 remaining here in the first half. 2nd and 10, of course, at halftime. Stay tuned for the MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner halftime show. The sports doctor will be talking some national sports with the stat guru. He'll also be talking about the top 10 high school sports football teams in the state, as well as giving you some local scores of tonight's action. The MJ Sullivan halftime show coming up at halftime. White hands off to DeDominicus. Dominicus gets to the outside, and Nick DeDominicus close to a Stonington first down. They're going to call him down at the 31-yard line, which will make him 1 yard shy. 3rd and 1 for Stonington with 2 minutes remaining here in the first half.
The Bears on the move here as we end the first half, Casey. Coach Mazengill is staying aggressive with the play calling and wants to put in at least 3, maybe 6 going into the locker room. Very important.
DeDominicus, handoff again, straight up the middle, head down, plowing forward. He'll have the first down over the 40-yard line.
Back-to-back short yardage situations and 3rd down have been no secrets here. Quarterback sneak and then right straight up the gut with the fullback. Safe play calling, offensive line, move some bodies, keep the chains moving. First down, Stonington Bears.
And rather than trying to draw off with a hard count, they've gone quickly.
Quick count,
up
yes.
to the line, and boom, off they go. 1st and 10, Stonington from the Windham 30, 1:35 remaining here in the first half. Amadi White under center. From the wing tee, hands off to Teresi. Teresi's got the right edge. Teresi bounces it outside, and Nick Teresi's going to get a good gain of close to 7 yards on first down. 2nd and 7, ball at the 23-yard line, and time is right now not on Windham's side. Stonington, though, is going to have to start picking it up.
Just over a minute to go here in the first half, right around 1:05. Stonington, 2 timeouts left here, though. Plenty of time to make something happen.
From the wing tee, in motion goes Teresi. White rolls, White keeps, White's pressured, and down goes Amani White at the hands of Seiji Araswaga, all the way back to the 32-yard line, 36-yard line, make it. And that's going to bring up 3rd and very long.
3rd and long timeout with Stonington on the field with 49 seconds left to go. And probably one of the worst things that could happen for the Bears in that point, outside of an interception, is a sack. And, White just had no time. He was, in the backfield. There were bodies all around him. He could not escape the last Windham would-be tackler. And a big sack, Casey, will bring up 3rd and 15. Kind of stalls the drive here a little bit.
I'll tell you, Seiji Araswaga is built like a linebacker, and he plays like a linebacker, which is why when you see the burst that he has as a fullback, that is a physical, and very impressive at high school football player.
Christian Okoye is the first thing that comes to my mind, the way he's built and the stockiness and, what he brings to the table as far as physicality on a high school football field.
I was always a Barry Word fan back in the days of when they were in the same backfield together. Christian Okoye and Barry Word, when they were both there
together. Who was
the
quarterback back then? Was it Steve DeBerg?
Yeah, they had multiple guys, but DeBerg was definitely...
He was one of the guys,
yeah. He was one of those guys. But I remember those two guys, both Barry Word and Christian Okoye, had 1,000-yard seasons where neither one of them looked like they belonged.
Yeah.
They both looked like offensive linemen. Trips left for Stonington with 49 seconds remaining here on 3rd and 15, and White is in the shotgun. White quickly gets it into the flat. It goes to Hunter Floyd. Floyd with a stiff arm. Floyd crosses the 30-yard line. And Hunter Floyd's going to get the ball back past the original line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up 4th and maybe 8. 35 seconds remaining here. And Stonington is going to go for it. 4th and 9. Under 30 seconds remaining. White in the shotgun. They're staying the same formation. DeDominicis is the only setback. Hunter Floyd will go split left along with Lennox Deere. Shotgun. White takes it. White's going to keep it. White's got a seam. White, he just couldn't break the final tackle of Nathaniel Barbosa Torres. What a great tackle by Barbosa Torres.
Shoestring stop by Torres on that play as White saw the cutback lane. Casey kept his head up, tried to take it upfield. Big stop there by Windham. That easily could have been 6 points by White.
Turnover on downs by Stonington, but they succeeded in one regard. They made some first downs, and with only 12 seconds remaining in the first half, Windham takes over at their own 25-yard line on top 13-7. So Stonington did succeed in keeping the ball away from Windham for that 5 minutes where they had the ball, and Stonington has definitely got some things going on offense. Windham with 12 seconds remaining in the half. Labby under center. Contos goes in motion. Pitch to Contos. Contos to the left side, left edge, outside he goes, bounces it outside, out of bounds after a gain of 5, with 5 seconds remaining here in the first half. Time for one more play for the Windham Whippets.
Hey, good first half of football. Stonington settled down a little bit. Casey made some big plays offensively. Had another good drive there, stalled right now. But heading into the locker room, I would say Coach Mazengale is pretty pleased with the performance of not only White, but also his young Bears. Or could we call them Cubs?
Very nice. Nice animal reference right there.
Sure.
I like that.
All right.
The Bears have Windham is on top here, 13-7. Bears playing defense. Windham with one last play remaining in the first half. Labby fakes, and Labby breaks out of one, breaks out of another. How did he manage to do that? Brody Labby broke out of the tackle of Flakus, but that's going to be the end of the first half of a very entertaining first half of football. At halftime, it is Windham High School 13, Stonington High School 7. Welcome to the MJ Sullivan Halftime Show. Now, MJ Sullivan Hyundai, where no money down means no money down. You can lease a 2015 Hyundai Sonata Sport for no money down and only $279 a month for 36 months. They'll pay your first payment. They'll pay your upfront sales tax. They'll even pay your registration and dealer conveyance fees. So that means you pay $0 down, $279 a month for a 2015 Hyundai Sonata Sport, only at MJ Sullivan Hyundai, corner of Broad and Coleman Streets in New London. See the entire inventory at mjsullivanauto.com. So we're going to turn it over to the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien. You are listening to the MJ Sullivan Automotive Center.
Thank you, Casey O'Neill, and check out the video package of this game Tuesday morning on theday.com. Peter Wappy and his staff do a wonderful job, and also, the London Day has exclusive rights to the coaches poll throughout the state. Top 10 in the state this week, coming in at number 10 in high school football is Glastonbury. 2-0. Glastonbury plays at Weaver tonight at 7 o'clock. Number 9 would be Newtown High School. They are 2-0. They take on Brookfield tonight. Number 8 is Brookfield, who takes on number 9 Newtown. Number 7 in the top 10 poll this week would be Ansonia. Number 6, Shelton. Number 5, Windsor. Number 4, Notre Dame of West Haven. Number 3, Darien. Number 2 in the state is the New Canaan Rams. And Stontington, once again, number 1 in the state. And Jason Rose, their hotshot quarterback, has verbally committed to the University of Connecticut. So there you go. Glastonbury, Newtown, Brookfield, Ansonia, Shelton, Windsor, Notre Dame, West Haven, Darien, New Canaan, and Stonington. Your New London Day coaches poll top 10. Checking things out in the out-of-town scoreboard tonight around the ECC. NFA 14-6 as we end the first quarter over at East Lyme High School. They lead East Lyme 14-6. Dylan Hedachek, who we saw last week with a touchdown pass, killingly a surprisingly 16-6 lead over Waterford as that game is hit the half. Fitch and New London tied at 0-0. Of course, tonight Windham 13. The Stonington Bears 7 in the big game in the league tomorrow, and one of the bigger games across the state would be Ledyard at Bacon Academy. Bacon picked off New London last week, trying to make it back-to-back big home wins, and they take on the Ledyard Colonels tomorrow. And I will bring in for the next few minutes the unspoken, the unseen, the unheard third member in the booth here of Game Day. It is the Stat Guru. Stat Guru, Mike, how are you?
I'm good. A little bit late today, but I made it.
Yeah, you're in, and you're feeling pretty good, and we've got a good ball game here tonight. We're going to shift gears a little bit. We'll shoot around. We'll talk a little baseball, and we'll get into a little college football, a little the NFL and stuff like that. And a couple of things that are happening as we get down to the last 2 weeks of Major League Baseball. The Kansas City Royals clinched the division for the first time since 1985. That's a long time. They have clinched the American League with Central. And, Kansas City last year, made a trip to the World Series. Right now, when you look around how these things are setting up, in the American League with the Yankees obviously going to get a wild card spot, Toronto battling out in New York for the division. Out west you've got Houston looking for
Houston Angels.
Right. Yeah. Right now, is Kansas City that team that would be the clear-cut favorite? Do they have the goods to get back to a World Series?
I would say they're the most talented team in the American League, but I wouldn't put them as outright favorites just because they lack a lot in the starting rotation, because Cueto's been struggling.
Sure.
Ventura's been off all year. They just lost their closer for the entire year. Greg Holland, he's like second in the major leagues in saves over the past 3 years. So they do have some pitching rotation problems. They got a really electric offense, though. So I would say they're the best team, but there's no clear favorite.
Do we have any stock? I was talking to somebody the other day. I don't have any stock right now in Toronto. They've never been in the position to win since, 91 and 92 or 92 and 93 when they went back-to-back World Series. That's it. I understand that, they've got some decent arms. Donaldson's had a tremendous year there. Batista, they can hit the balls from here to the moon. But, is Toronto one of those teams where, in a long series or even a short series can go out and win something?
If they get hot on offense, then they're going to win it all. But with a team that's that right-handed and that has that much reliance on their power, it's always going to be a hit or miss thing. So if they get cold, they really don't have anything else to go to because they don't have any.
It's not a small ball team.
No, it's basically a hit or miss with them.
Yeah. Now, do you have any kind of faith in the Yankees?
Yeah, I actually do, but it's probably just stems from my fear as a Red Sox fan of them winning. Where I always think that they're gonna pull it out, but I would say Toronto's the better team. And then you never know if the Yankees are even going to make it past the wild card game.
Right. I mean, I like the Yankees bullpen. I mean, Betances has been a little bit shaky as of late, but, you know, the combination of him and Miller all year long has been pretty solid.
Yeah, and then you add Wilson in the mix, who also throws 96 coming out of the pen. You got 7, 8, 9. It's almost over every game.
Right. So, I mean, those are your teams right now in the hunt. On the other side, in the National League, you know, I think the Mets are probably a live team. They got a lot of good arms. I don't like the situation, what's going on with Matt Harvey right now. I think it's a disruption. I think some of the players are a little miffed by it. If I was a player for the team, I'd be a little bit taken back by it as well. You know, I'd say, you know, throw it till your arm falls off. We have a chance to win the World Series here.
Yeah, exactly. It reminds me of the situation with the Nationals.
With Steven Strasburg.
And he didn't pitch at all at the end of the year. And it's like you're in the playoffs, you're leading the division, and they just expect to be there every year, and now this year they're not even going to make it. And I don't think it's a good decision for him to just let go of this opportunity to pitch in the postseason. Right,
now you look in the National League Central, and that could probably be one of the best divisions in the history of Major League Baseball. Yeah. They've got 3 teams there, all over 20 games over 500. The Cardinals are solid every single year. We know that. Obviously, the Cubs and the Pirates as well. I like the Cubs. I mean, I know that they're probably going to get a wild card spot, but I like their pitching. I like their young influx and talent. They got some big sticks in that lineup. I don't know what you're going to get from the Dodgers come playoff time. You know, Greinke's been lights out. Kershaw has been pedestrian in the last 2 or 3 starts, and he hasn't shown me anything in the postseason. So the National League right now, to me, I mean, again, you have to have that first game wild card play-in. You know, if the Cubs can get by that game, I think the Cubs could go on a little bit of a roll. And I know them, like I said, I know the Mets are a live team, but I don't know if that kind of stuff with Harvey will disrupt them.
I don't think it should disrupt them that much, because even if they're not throwing out Harvey, they've got guys with tremendous stuff like DeGrom,
you like DeGrom.
Syndergaard, Matz is very good. Bartolo Colon can give them innings out of the pen when they need it. And then the addition of Cespedes has been fantastic for their offense.
You know, he has torn the cover off the ball in the last, I mean, if there was somebody that could be a short version of the National League MVP, you could probably look at Cespedes, but he's only played, 40 or 50 games over there?
It's unfortunate, because he's leading the major leagues in extra base hits, and he's just been on an absolute tear since he's been with the Mets, but it's hard when you switch leagues to then award a guy for it.
Where was that with the Red Sox last year?
Yeah, he wasn't even bad for the Red Sox, but instead we got a pitcher who has an ERA over 5 for him, so it worked out for us.
Yes, Keith P. O'Brien, the sports doctor, making a house call here at halftime of the Stonington Windham game, where Stonington is down 13-7. We were talking a little bit of national sports, a little baseball with the stat guru. I will not give you his name. I will not reveal his true identity. You have to come down to a game and check it out and stuff like that. Week 3 in the NFL got off last night. The Giants finally learning how to close out a game. They beat the Redskins. New York, you know, played a decent game, and it's still a lot of drop balls and still a lot of mistakes. And 2 things I take away from that game, it's, you know, the Giants could be 3-0, and the Redskins really aren't that good.
Redskins are not a good team. They should not be happy with that win just because Kirk Cousins is not a good quarterback.
No, he's not. And the one thing I've seen in the first 3 or 4 weeks, I mean, the first 3 weeks of the NFL season is there's not a lot of good quarterbacks, and there's not a lot of good coaches.
Yeah. There's been a lot of pedestrian football. Like, you see the Patriots have been playing well, but
2 reasons
Packers,
why.
But other than that, a lot of teams have just been looking very average.
Right. When you look at some of the uplines, and we'll go through some of these teams, but there's 2 reasons. They've got great coaching, and they've got a great quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so, I mean, obviously New England takes on Jacksonville this week. Some of the other big games, I'll shoot through the whole thing. Indianapolis looking at Tennessee. Indianapolis has been a very soft team this year. Big disappointment. Tampa Bay at Houston, who cares? San Diego at Minnesota. Pittsburgh at St. Louis. Pittsburgh has an electrifying offense, that guru.
Antonio Brown is probably the best receiver in the NFL.
Javion Bell is back tomorrow as well.
He's back from the suspension.
He's back from the suspension, so they got a lot of good work out of D'Angelo Williams. So now Bell is back. Cincinnati, who's looked real sharp here in the early going, travels to Baltimore. That should be a rough, tough football game. Oakland at Cleveland, who cares? New Orleans with no Drew Brees. He's going to be hurt here, I think, for a while. Sounds to me like he's got some rotator cuff problems. I don't know if it's the end of the road for Drew Brees, but he's got a lot of miles on that repaired arm, and it could be tough sledding moving forward.
Definitely on the decline at this point in his career. He hasn't been the same for a while now.
The Philadelphia Eagles all standing around on the sidelines pointing fingers at each other. DeMarco Murray ticked off, but he got the money, but you don't have the carries. Yeah. They take on a resurgent New York Jets team tomorrow. San Francisco still searching for identity, taking a real tough task on the road at Arizona. Chicago at Seattle this weekend. I look for Seattle to bounce back in that game and really put a hurting on Jay Cutler.
Well, Clausen's the quarterback now because Cutler's out. That's going to be a rough game for Chicago.
I'll tell you what's going to be a rough game to watch if you're a football fan would be Buffalo at Miami.
Oh, my God. The quarterback play just for Buffalo is horrible.
Denver at Detroit on Sunday night, and Kansas City at Green Bay should be a very entertaining game. You know, and we enter week 3, week 4 of Stat Guru in the NFL, is you're going to start to see what you have in a team, who the good teams are, and who the bad teams are. And again, I think the league will stock up where, you know, you're going to have your Green Bay, you're going to have your New England, you know, maybe Pittsburgh. I don't even want to say Indianapolis, you know, Pittsburgh, maybe Arizona. But then after that, it's kind of a crapshoot. You got some teams in Seattle that are 0-2, Philly, high hopes on Philly that are 0-2. You know, Dallas is going to be without Romo for a little while, but you're going to see 3 or 4 teams rise to the top, the rest in the middle, and then the bottom of the pack is going to be it's going to be a crapshoot.
It's a very lopsided year in the NFL. I mean, the Cardinals I expect some decent things from, but other than that, like Dalton's been good, but I don't expect much going down the stretch from him. The Colts I've never been a fan of because they don't play well in big games, and they haven't been able to make it far in the postseason. And other than that, the AFC is extremely weak, and the NFC is pretty much a Packers and Seahawks if they can get there.
The top-rated passer in the NFL in the last 4 years, when healthy, went on the field.
Romo.
No, he's not. It's Carson Palmer, believe it or not. Oh, wow. He's the top-rated completion percentage.
Oh, completion
percentage. He's the top-rated passer in the last 4 years when healthy. So, I mean, right now, Arizona have a resurgent running game. We know they have some good wide receivers in Larry Fitzgerald and some others. The defense is extremely good. Mm-hmm. If Carson Palmer can find a way to keep, if Arizona can find a way to keep Carson Palmer upright and on the field, it should be a successful season for them.
Yeah, I can see them going toe-to-toe with the Packers in the playoffs this year. Just they have a really good defense.
Yeah, good stuff. What's going on with you now?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, nothing much. Getting ready for basketball season, doing Model UN and stuff like that at school.
Yeah, excited?
Yeah. Getting ready to go to college. It's kind of scary, but it's fun.
No, you're all right. You'll be okay. All right, Stat Guru, I will check in with you next week.
All right.
And we are not, Casey O'Neill was not disappointed that there wasn't pizza in the booth tonight because we had cinnamon crumb cake.
Oh, really?
Which you missed out on.
That's too bad. Extenuating circumstances.
That is the Stat Guru. Extenuating circumstances. He will turn things over now to Casey O'Neill. 3.5 minutes to go here before half. And, you know, what turned out to be a lopsided game in the beginning turned out to be a very, very entertaining, good quality half of football, Casey. You saw Stonington get down early, then rely on their senior quarterback, Amadi White, to make some plays and get back in this game.
Yeah, Amadi White really showed what a senior leader can do at the quarterback position in high school football. And not only at the quarterback position, but also as a defensive back, making a key stop. I'm not sure I ever said that I was okay with there not being pizza in the booth. I understand there's extenuating circumstances, but
right.
But I'm not going to tell you that I wasn't a little disappointed. But thankfully, the junior voice of game day is not here tonight. He's getting the night off because he had soccer pictures. So that you did.
Is he at the movies?
They had soccer pictures tonight, and his coach, was unable to go and get my picture taken for Colchester soccer. So because I have to be here with you all, no place I'd rather be. But the Stat Guru dodged a dicey situation tonight because the junior voice of game day would not have been pleased.
Stonington Bears trail at home 13-7 to the Windham Whippets here on Game Day, theday.com, a Friday night high school game of the week. Beautiful night for football. Very, very entertaining first half. The Stonington Bears a little bit short-handed, a little bit young, a little bit green, got down early, hung on, and made some big plays due to their quarterback, and they trail 13-7 right now in a very, very competitive football game. Casey, we'll talk about next week. We are at New London High School, and you talk about a competitive football game. Ledyard goes into New London next week, and New London, again, it's 0-0 right now against Fitch. In one of their swing games now, you could have two teams either facing adversity or facing prosperity next week because Ledyard takes on Bacon in one of the bigger games in the state tomorrow, and New London trying to right their ship from that loss last week and beat a game Fitch team.
Yeah, it's amazing how things can change week to week. If New London were to win tonight and Ledyard were to win, it sets up a a high-profile battle next week. If New London were to win tonight and Ledyard were to lose to Bacon, it would set up a chance for one of these teams to suddenly be staring at two losses. But if New London loses tonight, they go into Ledyard. Now Ledyard comes in, and it's a must-win if New London retains any real hopes of the postseason.
Sure. I've seen Bacon. I've seen Ledyard. I give Bacon a fighter's chance tomorrow in that game. I really do. And I know Ledyard's tough. Their defense is just, those kids up front are beasts. They've been with Coach Bunicor, that front seven, for 4 years. He's got all 4-year starters up front there. I think whoever wins the game up front on either side of the ball will be victorious there. I mean, both those coaches are very aggressive on the offensive side of the ball. You know what Coach Bunicor is going to bring to the table. I think it's going to be a very entertaining game tomorrow.
Well, going into the season, the one area that the Ledyard defense thought they might be susceptible was against the pass. There was some question about whether they could defend the pass. They knew that they were going to have some speed, but they were concerned about how well they'd be able to do that. And Bacon can throw the football, and Sean Kelly's a heck of a quarterback. But for Bacon to win tomorrow, they're really going to have to play a mistake-free game on both sides of the ball, because Ledyard's defense is very opportunistic and will certainly exploit any weaknesses and any mistakes that Bacon makes. But I think you're right that Bacon definitely has a chance in that game tomorrow, because they do have some dynamic players on both sides of the football. The score that I just saw that was the most shocking to me is East Lyme hanging in there against NFA.
Down 22-12 late in the second quarter. NFA is one of those teams where if they're not firing on all cylinders, it's one of those, we saw them lose last year at Griswold. It's a program that's very talented. They're very good. They have a tremendous athlete in Juwan Johnson as their quarterback. It just seems to be one of those teams that loses focus every once in a while, because I think they believe that they're the biggest and they're the best team. And you still have to play the game.
Well, two things there. One, you want to play NFA early, not late, because by the time the end of the season comes, they're going to have they'll be gelling, they'll have everything figured out. But the biggest commentary to me, and I was never a fan. I grew up with the top two teams made the postseason, not 6 teams, 8 teams, 12 teams. But there was a sense of urgency.
Right.
Now, a team like NFA, quite honestly, they know they can lose a game and still make the postseason. So it's more important to be good late. When I grew up, you had undefeated teams like Fitch and New London not make the postseason.
Speaking of the Fitch Falcons, they are up 12-0 right now with 20 seconds to go in the half at New London. Gibson interception by Gibson, and then a TD pass from our man Duncan to Luke
Letellier.
Yes. So a surprise down in New London to high school.
Yes and no. I think that first week we try, just like in the NFL, you try not to read too much into week one. And New London still had a lot to prove going into this game tonight. And Fitch really was taking some positive things from last week's win in East Lyme. And I thought that this was going to be a situation where if New London didn't come out sharp, that's been their issue over the past few seasons. They've out-talented some people, but they have not played a lot of crisp football games.
Yeah, Killingly jumping all over Waterford too right now, 22-6 in that game, and there's some big scores around the league right now and around the state, and it's 13-7 here at Stonington High School.
I think that Killingly Waterford score is an indication of a Waterford team that had an absolute heartbreaker in week one.
Yeah, let down.
The impossible loss of week one, and then played an incredibly tough game last week against NFA. And lost that game late as well. I think you're seeing a letdown after 2 very tough losses.
Probably a team that's a little bit on empty, physically and emotionally. And this is going to be a challenge for Coach Strecker moving forward with this program. You're only 3 games in. Which way do you go from there? We go to the second half, and I turn things over to the voice of game day, Casey O'Neill.
Third quarter brought to you by Lawrence and Memorial Hospital. Your score, the Windham Whippets on top, 13-7. Stonington will kick off, moving right to left. Back deep for the Whippets will be their speed guy, Cullen Contos, along with the big guy, Seiji Arzwaga, the 2 backs that have done a lot of damage tonight for the Whippets. Stonington kicking off from their own 40-yard line. A short kick will be taken by Torres, Luis Torres, but his knee was on the ground at reception, so Windham will take the ball 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line as we start the second half. The third quarter, again, brought to you by Lawrence Memorial. You know, Lawrence Memorial Hospital has two ways for you to get expert non-emergency care with less cost and less waiting than a visit to the emergency room. At L&M, their two walk-in locations on Howard Street in New London and the Stop and Shop Plaza in Stonington offer you more convenience and more services and no appointment necessary. From rashes to gashes and routine physicals too. Lawrence Memorial, they're here for you. So coming soon, a new location in Waterford. Lawrence and Memorial Hospital. Windham with the ball at their own 34-yard line. Labby hands off to Arzwaga. Arzwaga breaks through the first line. Arzwaga into the secondary. Arzwaga right over the top of Amadi White. And Hunter Floyd for a first down. Arzwaga is a load at running back.
And Windham going back to, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Running right up the gut. Arzwaga gets through the first wave of Stonington defenders. And then he's got a little bit of room up there. And Casey, once he gets ahead of steam, he is a tough youngster to bring down. 88 yards for Arzwaga on his last 5 carries.
Labby hands to Arzwaga again, has a room, gets a seam, breaks a tackle, gets to the outside, and finally brought down at the 35-yard line. Seiji Arzwaga, he has been absolutely impossible to bring down over his last 6 carries. Sets up Windham 1st and 10 at the Stonington 35-yard line.
Arzwaga doing work, keeping it simple as this Windham offense and keeping the chains moving. Good, tough, hard-nosed football by the Whippets here to come out of the third quarter, Casey. Trying to restore a little order in this game.
Just like the first time they had the ball and the Whippets went down the field and scored, looking to do that again with their first possession of the second half. Willie Brown goes wide left. Torres and Arzwaga in the backfield. Handoff again to Arzwaga. Gets through left tackle and brought down. Nice job by the interior of the Stonington defense. Not quitting that time. And the linebackers of Stonington that time, led by Travis Pacheco and number 54, Drew Bailey. Those two linebackers never gave up on the play.
I wasn't in the locker room at halftime, but I'm pretty sure what Coach Crudden's message was to the team and to the offensive coordinator in between sets. Let's get the ball to our workhorse, number 40.
That's second half running right there is what that is. That is downhill, physical running. Willie Brown split right. Handoff goes to Arzwaga again. Arzwaga straight up the middle, down towards the first down marker, where he's finally brought down by Pacheco, but that's going to bring up a third and very, very short, if not a first down. We'll see where the mark comes. They're going to mark it just at the 26-yard line, so 3rd and inches for Windham, already on top, 13-7.
4 straight runs by Arzwaga to open the second half. Coach, I'm not tired. Give me the rock, the big fella says, and Coach Crudden is playing along.
Nothing fancy right now. Out wide, Willie Brown and Luis Torres split wide right. Arzwaga and Contos in the backfield. Straight ahead, Labby's on a quarterback keeper, and he'll have the first down. Brody Labby with the first down for Windham, all the way down to the 23-yard line, where Windham will have it 1st and 10. Already on top, 13-7 with 9:39 remaining here in period number 3.
The Stonington defense right now back on their heels a little bit, Casey, and there's been no secret to what Windham is doing. They're just running the ball right up the gut, whether it's Arzwaga the first 4 carries and a quarterback sneak on second down.
Brown goes split left in the wing tee. Contos is on one of the wings. Arzwaga's the back. Contos in motion. Handoff up the middle to Arzwaga. Arzwaga breaks tackle. Arzwaga rumbling towards the end zone. Touchdown, Windham Whippets. Seiji Arzwaga with his second easy touchdown run. And if it's easy, it's by breaking 5 and 6 tackles.
Quick feet, high stepping into the end zone was Arzwaga, and that drive was all Arzwaga. He carried 5 out of the 6 Windham plays, all for positive yardage. 5 carries for 70 yards on that one drive alone by the Windham fullback.
Seiji Arzwaga just came out in the second half with an exclamation point. 9-11 here in the third period, 19-7 Windham. For the extra point is Brody Labby, the senior quarterback, place kicker for the Whippets. High snap. They're going to have to go for 2 and into the end zone. And no, nice job in the end zone by Stonington. Number 21, Garrett Berger, picked it off in the end zone. The 2-point conversion is no good. And the score will be 19 for Windham, 7 for Stonington.
Yeah, the message was pretty clear at halftime, I think, in the Windham locker room. Let's keep it simple. Let's go back to Windham football. Let's ride the horses that we have. Let's kind of restore order in this game. We talk about momentum in high school football. Stonington had the momentum going into the locker room. Windham needed to do something to capture that momentum back, Casey. And it was simple. It was hand the ball off to Arzwaga, play physical, tough football up front. Hey, let's put a hat on a hat and move some bodies. Arzwaga showed some quick feet, too, on some of those runs.
You talk about momentum. What a difference getting the ball in the second half was. If Stonington got the ball to start the second half, you're looking at a team that ended the first half on a positive drive, and a stop and a score. They'd be looking to go and get ahead, take the lead in this football game. And instead, by Windham getting the ball in the second half and doing what they did on their first drive, which is just pound the ball and get a touchdown, all of a sudden it's a two-score game, and like you said, momentum is fickle. Right now, it is all on the side of the Windham Whippets.
Yeah, still early going here in the third quarter. 9 minutes to go, but it's a big drive here coming up for the Stonington offense. They need some positive plays to trying to slow this game down on. That was just way too easy for Windham. Way too easy, Casey.
And I think we saw on the first drive, Stonington went for it on fourth down twice because they knew that they needed to keep their defense off the field. They knew that they were going to have a hard time. Coach Massengale was pretty clean. Coaches are often close to the vest, but he was pretty open about the fact that he was very frightened of the speed of Windham.
Sure.
Labby with the kickoff, high end over end kick. Comes down into the hands of Hunter Floyd, and Floyd is covered up pretty quickly at his own 25-yard line. Nice job that time by number 33, Luis Otero of the Windham Whippets. And Stonington will take over, trailing 19-7 here early in the third quarter, and they will take over at their own 25-yard line.
Now, one thing I did notice is that Coach A.J. Massengale has removed his sunglasses. He had some pretty good-looking Terminator sunglasses on there when we saw him on the field earlier.
But he's got the old-school coach's look about him, and I really
he
like
does,
that.
yeah.
He's got the white shirt, the tie. He looks like he came right out of the Big Ten in 1965.
He's a Fitch grad.
That's right. No sweatshirts, no pullovers. Amadi White, hands off to Floyd. Hunter Floyd cuts it up off the left tackle and around out of that wing T for a gain of maybe 2. 2nd and 8 for Stonington.
I like those old school looks as far as coaches go. I like that. Big Ten, and he's got the tie on, a la Woody Hayes, and the white shirt. Yeah.
The buzz cut.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
2nd and 8. Amadi White under center. Barking signals. Pitch as it goes. We're going to run a reverse to Floyd, and Floyd's going to be lucky to break it back up the middle for a gain of 3. Great job by Hunter Floyd that time. They ran a little reverse. The pitch went out first to Teresi. Teresi on the reverse to Floyd. Nothing there. He didn't have the edge. Cut it back up the middle and gained 5.
Yeah, reverses are hard to run when his white shirt's in the backfield, but Floyd put his head down and got positive yardage. 3rd down and a long 4 for the Bears.
8:15 and counting here in the third period. 19-7, Windham on top. Stonington with the ball, 3rd and 4. Amadi White under center. Barking. Hands off to DiDominicus. DiDominicus struggling forward. He is going nowhere fast. Number 20 for the Windham Whippets. That's Barbosa Torres.
Big stop on 3rd down there by the Whippets. Stonington could go for this now.
They are. They got it down to 4th and maybe half a yard. Last time we saw Amadi White on the quarterback keeper from this distance. Let's see what they do, but they need to retain the ball. They cannot turn it back over to Windham here.
I also think that he doesn't want to give the ball back to the Windham offense. I think it's a high risk, high reward for him. I think if he punts it right here, he's going to have troubles.
4th and a foot. White sends Teresi in motion. Hands off to DiDominicus. He's got the first down. Nick DiDominicus. And the ball is on the turf. Ball is loose on the turf at the 45-yard line of Stonington. Let's see who comes out of the pile with it. I think Teresi may have fallen on the ball.
And he did.
But no, they're saying Windham football. Windham football. Turnover by the Bears. What a tough break after DiDominicus had a first down at the 45-yard line. Instead, Windham sets up shop in Stonington territory with a 19-7 lead and all the momentum.
Yeah, DiDominicus fumbled the ball fighting for that extra yard or two. You hate to see that. Popped a good run off the left side of the Stonington offensive line and just couldn't hang on at the end.
1st and 10, Windham from the Stonington 45-yard line. 7:13 remaining in the third period. Windham on top, 19-7. Labby hands off to Arzwaga. Arzwaga, not much this time.
Surprise, surprise.
Nice job by the interior of the Stonington line, led that time by Kyle Whipple, the number 33, the junior. got in there and stopped Arzwaga for something we haven't said yet, no gain.
No gain. He was bottled up on that play, and Stonington crept up a few extra defensive people to the defensive line, bring the linebackers up to the front of the line of scrimmage. But again, it's one of those situations where if Arzwaga can bust through that first wave of tacklers, he's got a lot of green in front of him.
And they got burned by option last time when they started sending a few extra up. So let's see what happens. Labby, under center.
They have 11 guys in the box.
Motion from the tight end to the others to the left, from right to left. Hands off to Cullen Contos. Contos breaks a tackle in the backfield and finally brought down by Pacheco, but not for gain. So two back-to-back plays where Stonington holds Windham to no gain.
Yeah, that time the Bears defense was selling out, Casey. They had 11 men in the box. They were shooting gaps all over the place. And, Contos had nowhere to go. Good stop. This is a big third down for the Bears defense.
3rd and 10. We have not seen Brody Labby need to throw the ball at all today. He has not had to. They've been able to manufacture drives on the running game, but 3rd and 10, it's going to be tough. He sends Willie Brown wide, right? He's got Ortiz. And goes in motion. Arzwaga's in the backfield. Labby drops, pressured by Amadi White. Down the field goes Labby, looking for Willie Brown. In the end zone, it's incomplete. Flags on the play. Hunter Floyd was all over Willie Brown, but I think
it was offensive pass interference.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I think Willie Brown was tugging on Hunter Floyd. And if that's the case, we're going to see a offensive pass interference. But
Floyd had his head back, looking for the ball the entire time, and just jockeying for position was the wide receiver going down the sidelines.
Well, if this is defensive pass interference, you can't play better than that.
No, it was great. Offense.
Offensive pass interference against Willie Brown. Great job by Hunter Floyd. Step for step, they were both looking back for the ball, and Willie Brown gave a little tug of the jersey to prevent something happening. But a nice throw by Brody Labby, but the pass interference penalty against Windham, that was 3rd and 10, so they're going to decline it, bringing up a 4th and 10 from the Stonington 45-yard line, but Windham may just go for it again.
Well, I was thinking 2-down territory and 3rd down. I was thinking run up the gut, get 5 yards. So, again, you talk about no man's land right now, and that's where Windham is at. But Stonington's going to take the penalty.
So now they're going to back them up all the way to the Windham 40-yard line. So it becomes 3rd and 25.
Yes.
So it's a 15-yard penalty on offensive pass interference. So Windham now with the ball 3rd and 25 from their own 40-yard line. This has draw/handoff written all over it.
You would think so. Do you have a copy of the playbook?
Or a screen.
Are you privy to the playbook?
There's not going to be a throw down the
middle. Are you privy to a playbook?
I have watched 35 years of high school football. Willie Brown split right, again with Roman on him. Hand off to Contos up the middle, and nothing there for Cullen Contos. Nice job again by Stonington. That time, number 20, John Humphrey, the sophomore linebacker, makes a stop. And that's going to bring up 4th and 24. Nice job by the Bears defense.
Yeah, inside handoff, as predicted by you, Casey O'Neill. And Stonington stepped up there and made a play. This is Windham's first punt of the ball game.
And Windham's punter, of course, is senior quarterback Brody Labby. He's the place kicker. He's the punter. He may or may not, hand out hot dogs after the game, but he does just about everything else.
Yeah, my guy back there deep to receive. Number 5.
Hunter Floyd.
Labby
with the kick, high spiraling kick that lands at the 25-yard line and takes a nice bounce. And we're going to get a penalty. Well, we're going to get a penalty against Amadi White, and let me explain why. For the folks who are disappointed with that call, there are new rules in high school football this year.
The crowd doesn't like it one bit.
That's because the crowd doesn't know that there are new rules in high school football this year, that you cannot do a blindside block at the shoulders of any player. So if the player's not looking at you on punts and kickoffs, so the old days of the crackback blocks and the blocks where the defensive player is blind, those are now illegal in high school football. So what happened there, it was a clean play by Amadi White. Last year, it wouldn't have been a penalty. This year it is, because the player was on Windham was deemed defenseless because he wasn't watching the play.
Sure, and that's too bad for Stonington, because that ball took a gratuitous Bears bounce, and we would have been setting up shop at about the 35-yard line. It cost them half the distance to the goal on that one.
And that's a tough break, because as a football player, you
want to hit somebody.
Well, it's not just that, but Amadi White's probably been playing football for 15 years, and for 15 years it was legal. And now in the off season, he's supposed to forget what he's done for 15 years to go to this play. That's tough for any player. to unlearn something that they've been doing that's been completely legal for their entire football career.
No, sure.
4:50 remaining here in the third period. Stonington will set up shop 1st and 10 from their own 14-yard line. They go trips left. DeDominicus is the lone set. White in the shotgun. White, quick toss out. He was looking for Lennox Deer, but the ball went through the hands. Deer looking to run before he caught the ball on the wide receiver screen. They were trying to set up a little bubble screen that time.
4 for 8 for 70 yards so far for White. Obviously, 60 of them coming out one pass play, Casey O'Neill.
4:45 remaining here in the third period. And that pass play, of course, was the 50-yard bomb that he threw earlier in the game, which then led to the touchdown to Teresi. But here we have 2nd and 10, 19-7 on top the Windham Whippets. White from the shotgun, plenty of time. Pass into the side, right, incomplete through the hands of Hunter Floyd.
Some good coverage there on the outside by the Windham defenders. Stonington going 4 wide in that play. Everybody was one-on-one, man-to-man across the board. Nowhere for White to deliver the ball.
That is going to bring up 3rd down and 10 with 4:40 remaining here in the third period. Not a down or distance or field position for Stonington.
Yeah, Casey, I like White on the run a little bit, too. I like him improvising at quarterback. The 3-step drop stuff, he looks just a little bit tight on. I like him with his legs moving and scrambling out of trouble.
Kyle Whipple and Nick Teresi split left. Teresi goes in motion. And there it is, the quarterback keeper by Amadi White. Breaks one tackle, but can't break another as he is dragged down after a gain of 2. And that's going to bring up 4th and long. And this time I think you're going to see Stonington punt it away.
Yeah, that's a real safe call on 3rd and 10. And that penalty really hurt the Stonington Bears and their sequence of play calling. Because, 1st and 10 from, the 9-yard line is a lot different than, 1st and 10 up from the 25-yard line.
Seamus Wallace into punt. Windham will send number 7, Tyrick Baker, along with number 22, Luis Torres, back deep. They're standing in their own territory at their own 45-yard line. Wallace standing just outside of his end zone. Good snap. Wallace with a high punt, long line drive that bounces at the 45-yard line and takes a little bit of a Stonington bounce, just shy of midfield. Windham will take over 1st and 10 in Stonington territory at the 48-yard line.
Now, Casey, 3.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter, and this is the time for the Stonington defense now to be called upon, make another stop, give their offense another shot at it right now, and this is one of those danger zone time of the games where either Windham can put their stamp and seal on it and make Stonington really play from behind, or Stonington call on their defense and make another stop.
You're listening to Game Day live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill along with Keith O'Brien and the Stat Guru listening to the Windham Whippets with a 19-7 lead here at Stonington High School. Labby, the quarterback for the Whippets, under center, gives it to Arzwaga. Arzwaga twisting and turning in the hole for a gain of 6 on 1st down. Seiji Arzwaga, just an absolute nightmare to defend for the Bears.
He's been a workhorse here in the second half, Casey, no doubt about it. All positive yards, stopped on one play for no gain, but he is running downhill at Stonington High School.
2nd and 4 for the Whippets. Ball at the Stonington 41-yard line. Willie Brown goes wide left for Windham. Ortiz and Arzwaga in the backfield. In motion, Contos. Handoff goes to Arzwaga straight up the gut. Puts his head down and breaks a couple of tackles and gets up close to a 1st down at the 38-yard line of Stonington. It's going to bring up 3rd and maybe a yard.
Yeah, Barry Ward and Christian Okoye, were they your favorite NFL backfield? Who is one of the, something to think about as we're going to the fourth quarter, who was the best tandem? Or who was the best backfield all time in the NFL? Franco Harris and Rocky Blyer?
You might want to go Mercury Morris and back in the day,
Larry Zonka?
Larry Zonka, that's one that you can talk about. Darrell Johnson and Emmitt Smith, different kind of backfield, a true lead blocker, not 2 guys, but most effective running game in the history of the NFL.
Triplets.
3rd and short here for Windham. Labby, tight end, is going to move, and we got a little bit of jumping, a little stand up there by the left side of the Windham line. It's going to be false start, going to back him up. It's going to be 3rd and 6 for Windham. Lots of good running back tandems, but of the modern era of running back tandems now that the game is going to.
Yeah, the game is certainly
running
it's a hybrid back. It's a hybrid system now. There's no more. That's why you're never going to see Emmitt Smith's rushing record ever broken. 17,000 yards. The position has changed so much.
Oh, the shelf life of a running back is much shorter. The carries are down. The amount of plays that are run for the running back.
Sure.
It's a passing league. The league has been created for quarterbacks and receivers. They want points, and that's what you're
I
going
like
to get. 3rd and 6. Willie Brown split right. Contos is the setback along with Arzwaga. Labby under center. Hands to Contos. Off of right tackle. Contos cuts it back, breaks it on tackle. Gains about 3 before he's brought down by Nick DeDominicus. It's going to bring up a 4th and 4 for Windham. Ball at the Stonington 40-yard line.
Solid tackling by DeDominicus there. Stood his ground, made a good solid football tackle, wrapping up around the waist. Good solid defense there by Stonington.
4th and maybe 4 at the ball at the 40-yard line. I think Windham is keeping their quarterback, Brody Labby, in the game, so they're going to go for it here on 4th and down. 19-7 lead for the Whippets with 1:30 remaining here in the 3rd period. 3rd period brought to you by Lawrence Memorial Hospital.
Probably include number 40 in this play if I could.
That would be Arzwaga. Arzwaga, fake handoff. Labby rolls left. He's got lots of room. Labby gets the corner. Labby turns at the 30. Breaks a tackle. Still in bounds and out of bounds. Brody Labby all the way down to the 20-yard line. They sold out on the interior, and Labby had lots of room.
Yeah, that Stonington defense was softened up on the edge due to the pounding of the inside running by Arzwaga, and Labby kept it himself and had a nice gain on the left side, number 21 down for Stonington. He is up now. He is okay. He got a little of an ankle twist, it looks like. He's coming off the field under his own power, but nice keeper by Labby there. And Labby's got some quick feet. You know, he plays basketball. He plays a lot of sports. He could certainly handle the quarterback position, either from a thrower and from an athleticism spot as a runner, Casey.
Yeah, they sold out to try to stop Seiji Arzwaga, and that just allowed the edge to be wide open, and Labby had no problem taking the left corner.
Now, I could have picked up 15 yards over the left side on that play.
I could have gotten at least 3. 1st and 10, Windham. Ball at the 22-yard line of the Bears. We're waiting for the injured Stonington Bear to clear the field, and he has. Arzwaga, and there's the lone set. Handoff instead goes to Ortiz, and oh, what a great open field tackle by Hunter Floyd. Luis Torres was the running back for let me see if I can get this right now. Luis Torres was the running back for Windham, and a great open field tackle by Hunter Floyd.
Floyd coming out of his safety position, big hit as he is straight ahead like a missile that time. Couple of back-to-back good stops and good open field tackling by these young Stonington Bear defense.
2nd and 12 now for Windham. 35 seconds remaining here in the 3rd period. 19-7, Windham on top. Ball at the 24-yard line of the Stonington Bears.
That's got to feel good for the defensive player when you make a big-time play like that.
Arzwaga in the backfield. Labby rolls left. Labby looking to throw. Flips it to Arzwaga. Arzwaga with the catch. He's heading towards the end zone. Touchdown, Seiji Arzwaga. This time in the air from Brody Labby. And the Windham Whippets with the exclamation point.
1 by land, 6 by air. Touchdown Arzwaga. As Windham seems to take control of this ball game, and he has been the MVP of the second half thus far, Casey.
25-7, Windham on top. Nice play that time. You saw Labby with the fake to Arzwaga up the gut, rolled left. Arzwaga slipped out into the middle open of the field, took a little flip pass from Labby, and nothing in front of him but
This is
daylight.
what you get when you continually pound the interior of that Stonington defense. They're looking for the run. You slip him out of the backfield a little bit, and Labby quick enough on his feet to make the play.
Windham going for 2. Labby rolling right, throws to Contos, and it's good. 2-point conversion, good. Brody Labby to Cullen Contos, and that'll make the score 27-7. Windham on top of the Stonington High School Bears. A win here tonight will bring Windham's record to 3-0, and I got to tell you, watching, they are simple. We've called, basically 4 names. It's Labby, Contos, Arzwaga, and occasionally Torres. But there's not a lot of fancy, calls here. but they are a difficult team to defend.
They're a tough team, and when you talk to Coach Crudden all week leading up to the game, he knew he had a good defense. He knew his defense was solid. He said his defense was light years ahead of his offense. Oh, okay. Okay, Coach, I'll take your word for it. The offense looks pretty impressive tonight. And, again, we're 3 games into the season. This is their second game on the road. And you know what? I know it's a young Stonington team, but, just maybe this Windham team has got a little something going on and is looking to compete in the league this year.
Very, very impressive, Windham. Stonington.
A lot of different weapons out there for the Whips.
Yeah, I think Stonington, also shorthanded, really put in a lot of excellent effort tonight. But this Windham team really, really has some exciting playmakers. 27-7, Windham on top. We are 11 seconds remaining from the end of the third period. Windham has come out and scored twice here in the third quarter to take control of this game. Brody Labby will kick off going left to right for Windham. Hunter Floyd, the main setback deep for Stonington. High kick by Labby comes down to Floyd at the 15-yard line. He loses it, picks it up again, stutter steps, and down to the turf goes Hunter Floyd as he crosses the 22-yard line. We have 6 seconds remaining here in the third period, so we'll get one more play for Stonington. This third period brought to you by Lawrence and Memorial Hospital, one of the sponsors of Game Day. You're listening to Game Day live on theday.com from Stonington High School. Casey O'Neill along with Keith O'Brien, the sports doctor, the stat guru, looking sharp as a tack right behind us, helping us out with all the variables going on in tonight's game between the Windham Whippets, who have a 27-7 lead over the Stonington High School Bears. D. Dominicus, the setback for the Bears. Amadi White, the senior quarterback. White drops, looking, time, throws into the right seam, and it's dropped by Hunter Floyd. Unfortunately, he was open. Nice pass by Amadi White, but dropped, and that'll bring us to the end of the third period. Your score after 3, the Windham High School Whippets 27, the Stonington High School Bears 7.
Checking things out, Casey, real quick. Around the league in the ECC tonight, the Griswold Wolverines lead Woodstock 28-0 at the half. You have NFA right now 22-12 at the half over East Lyme. You've got Montville 14-8 over Plainfield midway through the third quarter. You have got Waterford down big to killingly, 40-6, and right now 12-0 still as Fitch continues to lead over New London.
The Science and Technology Magnet School of Southeastern Connecticut is the region's leading STEM-themed school. The nationally recognized Magnet program prepares students to succeed, not just during their 4 years of high school, but for the future beyond the Magnet School. Transform your passion for science, technology, engineering, or math to reality at STMHS. They are now accepting applications for next school year. Learn more and apply online at nlstmhs.org. That's nlstmhs.org.
One of the most electrifying players in the ECC, Jawan Johnson, has just cashed in from 51 yards out as NFA takes a 28-12 lead, extending it a little bit over East Lyme, down at East Lyme High School.
He needs less than an inch, and he is gone.
He's fast, kid.
He can run.
It's crazy.
2nd and 10 for Stonington. Ball is at their 25-yard line. D. Dominicanis is the lone set. Amadi White under center. White pitches to Hunter Floyd, and it reverses it back the other direction. Ball's on the turf. It's loose. It's picked up by Windham, and Cullen Contos is going to score a Windham touchdown. Cullen Contos, the senior defensive back, picked up the fumble by Stonington High School and sprinted untouched to the end zone, and just like that, it is 33-7.
Tricky plays can be tricky on offense. That inside handoff double reverse is awfully tight to run down there, and we've seen the exchange problems twice on that play. Tough break for the Bears. Windham opportunistic on D. That's a real tough play to run in that situation. Down deep in your own end zone, little inside handoff, another inside handoff, double reverse. A lot of bodies in there, Casey.
This is not a 33-7 football game either. I mean, it just literally, what felt like seconds ago, it was 19-7, and momentum was on Stonington's. Excuse me, it was 13-7, and momentum was on Stonington's side, and now it's 33-7, just like that.
I think that big first half, the big drive to start the second half with Oswego marching down the field, kind of took the wind out of the Stonington sails a little bit.
A different game in the second half than the first half, where the Windham Whippets have seized control and really started to pull away and, quite frankly, dominate this second half. The third quarter was entirely Windham. They're now on top 33-7. On the very first play of the fourth quarter, a inside reverse handoff by Stonington went to the turf, and Cullen Contos, the senior tri-captain and defensive back of the Windham Whippets, picked it up and went untouched for a touchdown. And the Whippets are now going to attempt the extra point. 33-7 Windham. Ball spotted at the 2-yard line. Windham will go for 2. Arzwaga and Contos are in the backfield for Windham. Labby, quick screen throw out to the left on a little quick slant to Willie Brown for the 2-point conversion. Nice quick slant that time. And Contos with a great throw hit Brown right between the 1 and the 5.
Easy pitch and catch on the outside. 2-point conversion, 37-7. And the one term, Casey, that neither one of us has used tonight would be swinging gate.
Thank goodness for that.
Or a polecat, or whatever you want to call it. We have not talked swinging gate football all night until I just brought it up.
Line it up and kick it. Line it up and go for 2. I don't care which one you do, but line it up and play. 37-7. Windham on top of the Stonington High School Bears. Casey O'Neill along with Keith O'Brien. You're listening to Game Day live on theday.com. We are at Stonington High School, where the Bears have seen it all come apart here in the third quarter.
Were you a little shocked last week, Casey? I'll ask you a question. Were you a little shocked last week when Notre Dame beat up on Georgia Tech?
Yes.
You were shocked?
Yes, I was shocked that they beat up on them. The defense played much better than I was expecting the defense to play. You asked me the question at halftime last week about what I thought in that game, and I had said that prior to Zaire getting hurt, I thought that this was going to be the game that Notre Dame stumbled over.
Right.
But as soon as he got hurt and they became the overwhelming underdogs and everyone said they were going to lose that game, I said, I go the other way now. Notre Dame, they're not that different. The quarterbacks.
No, one's a freshman, one's a junior.
And then Prosythe
is
just absolutely.
And he's a second-string running back.
Well, he is and he isn't. As we see the kick coming down to Hunter Floyd for Stonington, and he's brought down at the 25-yard line. Stonington will have it 1st and 10. Prosythe was people that don't know the background there. He's a wide receiver,
right?
Converted to running back because Coach Kelly saw him in the open field and said he likes to run in between tackles. He likes running in bodies. He's not a space runner. He thought he would make a good running back. So they converted him, and he was a second-string running back to start the year. But where I thought that Notre Dame had something going was that Prosythe is going to get better. He's brand new to the running back position, and he's learning how to play running back. And you can see already, game to game, he has made improvements as a running back. They are very, very dangerous with a backup quarterback and a backup running back because both of those two players are learning the position, but they're extremely talented.
Wow, he's loaded right now. He's got athletes all over the field there. It took him a few years.
It's Notre Dame.
Well, listen, they had some. Listen, they had some down years. This is what Brian Kelly's been now. Is his 4th year there now? His 4th year?
Yeah.
He went to a national championship his 2nd year?
Sort of. Handoff goes to Kyle Whipple on 1st down, and Whipple gains about 5 on 1st down. 2nd and 5 for Stonington. Ball at their own 30-yard line. Yeah, if you want to call that a national championship game,
the game against Alabama.
They played a game against the team that won the national championship.
They got away by the skin of their teeth in some of the games that you had barely beaten Pitt. They had some real close calls that year.
That was the Manti Te'o
yes.
team. The catfish season of Notre Dame. Handoff again to Whipple. Whipple breaks a tackle and met stiffly by Luis Torres in the hole, and he'll get down after a gain of 2. It'll going to bring up 3rd and 4. But a tough run. I like number 33, Kyle Whipple. He is a junior, and I like the tough running. You know what? Down 37-7. That kind of toughness and extra effort really speaks volumes about the possibilities in the future of the Stonington High School football program.
Keeping it simple here to start this drive is Coach Mazengill and the Stonington Bears just trying to get some positive yardage. Let's see if we can get a score. Let's keep our heads up. Let's just keep moving forward. Probably the message to the team right now, down 37-7.
3rd and 3. Ball at the 37-yard line. D. Dominicus is the lone set in motion. And handoff straight up the gut to D. Dominicus. D. Dominicus has the 1st down to the 40-yard line. Nick D. Dominicus, the junior. That's two juniors. It's a very young Stonington high school football team. Sure, you got Amadi White, the senior quarterback, and you got Nick Teresi and Hunter Floyd. But for the most part, we have named a lot of juniors and sophomores.
Right, and with that, too, the coaching staff from Stonington and Coach Mazengale has stressed, we're going to work hard. We're going to work our butts off to be successful. We have to, because we're young and we're a little green, but we're going to work our tails off, Casey.
10 minutes remaining here. First and 10 Stonington at the 37-yard line. Amadi White hands the ball off to his running back. Hard to see that time who it was, for a gain of about a yard. We'll see who comes out of the pile with it. The running back that time was number 32. That is Owen Donahue, it looks like. Owen Donahue on the carry for Stonington.
Donahue's seen a little action at wide receiver. He's seen a little action at tailback. I mean, kind of a lot of moving pieces to the parts.
Well, that was Jack Donahue. This is Owen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So you were correct. Donahue did see action at wide receiver, but that was his brother Jack.
His brother Darrell, his other brother Darrell.
Second down, handoff again goes to Donahue. Donahue, nice run, gets a first down for Stonington into Windham territory, all the way to the 47-yard line. Nice run by Owen Donahue, another junior for the Stonington High School Bears. So we've seen junior Nick Dominicus, junior Kyle Whipple, and junior Owen Donahue on the last few carries for the Bears. And they've got a first down and some fight left in them. Gotta love to see the 37-7 deficit not getting the spirits or the effort of the Stonington High School.
Tough run by Donahue, and you know how I know it was a tough run? Because his helmet came off at the end of the run, Casey. That's always a sign of a tough run.
White, quarterback, hands off. This time, around the edge it goes. Looks like, again, hard to see. We'll see who the number is. Number 4, Aaron Beausoleil got the carry that time. Tough when the Stonington Bears, they run the wing T, and when the far side wing is the one that comes in motion, it's hard to see the numbers.
Yeah, but you're okay with the uniforms.
I love the uniform.
I mean, you're okay. It's not like the Fitz uniforms.
No.
I mean, we have no problem here with the unis and the numbers.
No, the Fitz uniforms, I could stare at the jersey, and I can't tell what it is. This is not Stonington's jersey's fault. It was just the motion from the weak side.
These uniforms kind of remind me of Brown. Didn't Brown have uniforms like Brown University?
They should.
I think they do.
They're right there in the title. Brown. Handoff again. It goes to number 32, Owen Donahue. Donahue up towards a first down. He'll be close, but just shy. Crosses the 40-yard line.
I'm pretty sure, too, if where I work had a football team, we'd look a lot like the kids on the field right now.
What can Brown do for you? 37-yard line. Third and a yard. Wyndham on top, 37-7 here over the Stonington High School Bears, but Stonington with a little fight in them left. Driving now with the ball at the 37. 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here. Amadi White has John Humphrey in the backfield. Instead, he hands it to Beausoleil. Beausoleil gets the corner, and he'll have a first down. Nice run by Aaron Beausoleil. And that's another first down for Stonington.
Tough running here in the fourth quarter by the Bears. A lot of kids getting different touches. A lot of kids moving the ball forward. Sophomores, juniors, seniors. Coach Mazengale is going to give everybody a shot here. Everybody that's come to practice this week and work their tails off, they're going to see touches. They're going to see playing time. So, Stonington making a bit of a statement here, saying, you know what, we're going to get some people involved, and a statement to their own program, where if you work hard, you will be rewarded.
This is keeping the program, valid right now. White, straight drop, has time. Now he's pressured, breaks out of the pocket. White gets into the open field. White's at the 20, cuts it back outside again, and dragged out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. Tackled by Willie Brown. Got him up high, but no flag. Nice run that time by senior Amadi White. He was pressured, but the linebackers had bailed on the play, and he had a lot of open field.
Yeah, quick feet there by Amadi White, and we've talked about him all game long. His vision downfield, saw the cutback lane, took it upon himself, and a nice gain by the senior quarterback.
6:40 and counting here remaining in the ball game. You're listening to Game Day on theday.com. Stonington trails 37-7, but they have a first down at the Windham 16-yard line. Amadi White hands off on a handoff around the left end to Kyle Whipple, and Whipple gains about 5 on the first play. That's that old Notre Dame cutback play feel like Vince Lombardi should be saying, we seal him here, we seal him there, and we go right up the middle.
Yeah. Well, Reggie Brooks or Tony Brooks or whoever was in the backfield back then for Notre Dame. Do you remember those teams or not?
Of course I remember those teams. When I go
Tim
back
Brown?
to Tim Brown a little bit before that.
Sure. Steve Berline.
Absolutely.
Jerry Faust.
Oh yeah, Jerry Faust was the coach before.
Alan Pinkett.
All absolutely.
You're showing your age.
I am, but I love those Notre Dame teams.
Sure.
White hands off again to Whipple. Whipple around left end, heading towards the end zone, and he's going to get down, waiting for a signal, and he is in the end zone for a Stonington touchdown.
Tough running by junior Kyle Whipple finds pay dirt here in the fourth quarter for the Stonington Bears.
Kyle Whipple, nice job that time by the junior running back. That's going to make the score Windham 37, Stonington 13. Put his head down, broke a tackle, never stopped the legs moving. And Kyle Whipple, with a very, very tough fourth quarter run for the Stonington High School Bears, brings the score 37-13 with 5:36 remaining.
5 carries on that drive by Whipple, and he finds pay dirt. Good tough running here by the junior fullback, Casey.
And we are going to get a flag on the play as Stonington had too many players on the field and Beausoleil couldn't get off in time. So we're going to have too many folks there on the field.
And again, we do not call that cheating. We call that a misinterpretation of the rules.
No, it's called a mistake. It's called a mistake. No malice intended. No attempt to defraud. Cheating indicates an attempt to defraud, an attempt to get over. That's called a mistake. You know,
you should have been a lawyer.
Clearly, as a Patriots fan, you have become very.
Oh, here we go.
No,
Stat
become
Guru.
very sensitive.
Stat Guru just moaned and
The
groaned
word cheating just comes out of your mouth so easily now.
Oh boy, here we go.
And the extra point is blocked as Luis Torres flew in and blocked it. No.
Don't start. Look, he's a stat guru here. We can't hear him, but he is moaning and groaning.
I am not a Patriot hater by any stretch of the imagination. What I am suggesting is that as a Patriots fan, you have spent the better part of 9 months having to defend your team against every crazed lunatic in the world who hates on the Patriots. So you have become very thin-skinned. The word cheating resonates with you the way it might not with someone else. To the point where, let's say you got a 7th McNugget when you ordered your 6 McNuggets.
Yeah, right.
You would return it and say, I can't cheat by taking a 7th McNugget.
I would eat it.
Oh,
well, listen, I'm going to the drive-through. I'm halfway to Wesley by the time I notice I've got 7 nuggets. You're going to turn the 7th nugget in? Oh, come on. Seriously?
Well, then I have to question whether or not Tom Brady's guilty.
Ah, here we go. Who are you a fan of, the Giants?
Oh, dear Lord, no. I am a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Oh, jeez, good Lord.
I go back to
stop it.
My uncle
here we
wait
go.
a minute. My uncle and Roger Staubach were roommates.
They're going to have a tough...
I got a Staubach jersey when I was 7 years old.
They're going to have a tough 7-8 weeks here.
You know what? They will, and they'll persevere. You know why?
Yeah,
because the
division's
terrible.
Yeah. Third year in the league, 35-year-old Casey Whedon at quarterback, right? That about sums it up.
Fine former quarterback of the Cleveland Browns.
Oklahoma State Cowboys. Yeah, he was a pitcher in Major League Baseball. Yeah, Casey Whedon. Been in the league 3 years at 36 years old. You got Matt Castle came in this week, did he not?
He did. He's going to be the third-string quarterback until such time that he moves up to be the second-string quarterback after he learns the offense. But I don't want to talk about the Cowboys. I'm a fan of sports in general. I have other teams that I like. I'm a fan of the San Francisco.
You a fantasy football player?
Of course I am. I'm a fan of the San Francisco 49er defense because it's led by a good friend of mine. Someone dear to the Patriots' hearts, Eric Mangini. My high school, my college roommate and fraternity brother.
Wesleyan?
Yes. Class of 1993.
Bill Belichick went to Wesleyan.
Yes, we don't talk about him, though.
He's a cheater, that's why.
No, but he was not nice to my friend Eric Mangini.
Oh, Mangenius, that's right.
And Mangenius is a good man, that's all I'm saying. No, Belichick's also my fraternity brother, Kai Sai, at Wesleyan University. We've got 5:30 remaining here in a 37-13 ball game. The Windham Whippets on top of the Stonington High School Bears. Windham with the football in the aforementioned 5:30 remaining here in the ball game. They have the ball at their own 36-yard line, but we have a procedure penalty. It's going to back Windham up 5 yards. For those of you just joining us, you're listening to Game Day on theday.com. Casey O'Neill, along with Patriot fan, the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, the stat guru. Ladies, if you're curious who the stat guru is, let me just tell you he's young. He's got a tie on right now, and he is looking sharp. He's looking like $110.
End of the third quarter over at New London High School. Fitch still hanging on, 12-7, Casey.
Those extra points might come back to burn him. Handoff up the middle for Windham, and nothing there. Nice job by the center of the Stonington defense, led by Pacheco, number 44, the linebacker, and they stopped Arzwaga for no gain.
You know, we did the game last week with Fitch and East Lyme, and that was a huge win for that program. How big of a win would that be tonight if Fitch actually hung on and picked off New London?
Oh, to go 2-1, win 2 games, back-to-back games after
on the road?
having not won in over a year, yeah, that would be an immense win. But that 12 scares me a little bit because New London, by having the 7, means another touchdown takes a lead. Those extra points can mean an awful lot in a high school football game. In Fitch, as Mike Ellis said, they don't have a large margin for error anymore. No. Second and long. Handoff up the middle to Arzwaga. Arzwaga fighting, still on his feet, refuses to go down. And he will not actually go down. The whistle will blow, stopping his forward progress. But not much there. The Stonington defense really, really playing hard right now. And it's going to bring up 3rd and 14 for Windham with 4:30 remaining here in the ballgame.
Now, can I digress for a second?
Just now?
How about Roger Craig and Kim's of Mind and Tom Rathman? Best backfields?
Good backfield.
Could it be along the lines of...
Good backfield.
Not a great backfield?
The better
Super Bowl rings?
Yeah, but that's a Montana Young.
Super Bowl
that's
rings?
Montana Young Rice.
Roger Craig, a high-stepping?
But that's Montana Young and Rice. That's the reason why. Labby on 3rd down. Rolls weak side, looking to throw. Throws down over the middle of the field to Contos. Contos has got it at the 42. Contos has the sideline. Contos breaks a tackle. Touchdown, Windham. Cullen Contos.
66-yard pitch and catch from Labby to Contos. Big play on the edge for the Windham Whippets.
And that might be the final straw right there, folks. That's going to be 43-13 Windham, pending the extra point. Brody Labby rolled to his left and threw a perfect ball in stride to Cullen Contos. He got to the outside, broke a tackle, and another touchdown for the Whippets.
Yeah, Windham is now showing an ability to score from all phases on the offensive side. Fast speed on the outside. They can run up the gut with the big fullback, and now they can make plays on the outside with the quarterback and the wide receiver, Casey.
Coach Massengale of Stonington said we need to limit the damage. He said he was terrified of their backs out of the backfield. He said they did so much in their first 2 games out of the backfield with those backs, and we've seen both Arzwaga and Contos catch touchdown passes from out of the backfield. Labby in for the extra point for Windham. Snap is good, hold is down, and the kick is good. That will make this score Windham 44, Stonington 13, with 3:45 remaining here in the ballgame.
You know, one of the most exciting things we've seen in the last 2 or 3 years, especially in high school football, is, you know, the ability to quarterbacks, the athletic style, to get on the edge and make some plays. And high school football has evolved so much in the last 4 or 5 years because of the fact that, for the most part, Casey, the most talented kid and the most athletic kid plays quarterback. So it's a different type of game versus the pocket passer. You get some of these kids on the edge a little bit, throw their speed in, and some of these kids have big arms. You know, Juwan Johnson's got a decent arm at NFA, but he's one of those kids who's electrifying on the edge. Now, we saw last week with Duncan as well, and Labby's no different.
Nope, in years past, you would have taken that great athlete and they would have run the option.
Sure.
And they would have been the way for the quarterback to have the ball. And every once in a while, they'd fake the option, step back, and they didn't have to really be very good throwers of the football because guys would run wild because they were so overcommitting to the option. You saw that in high school, you saw that in college. Then it became that read option out of the spread formations where the quarterbacks, if they could throw the ball, great, but still, it was essentially a different option, and all they needed to do was throw bubble screens and little tight end curls. Now you're starting to see the evolution of quarterbacks.
Sprint rollouts.
That's right, quarterbacks that can really throw the football. Labby with a high end-over-end kick, going to come down to Hunter Floyd at the 12-yard line. Floyd heads straight up the middle. Floyd still on his feet all the way to the 32-yard line, where Stonington will have its offensive possession, trailing 44-13 with 3:40 remaining here in the ballgame. You're listening to Game Day on theday.com. Casey O'Neill along with Keith O'Brien, the stat guru to our left. Tonight's game has been brought to you by MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner, the Science and Technology Magnet School of Southeastern Connecticut, and Lawrence and Memorial Hospital. This fourth quarter is brought to you by the MJ Sullivan Automotive Corner.
Windham's got some pretty good athletes on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, they're solid as well. Be interesting to see how they move forward, in the league in the next 4 or 5 weeks. Casey, be 3-0 after tonight.
White hands off to Whipple. Whipple breaks a tackle, still on his feet, tries to get to the corner, but Arzwaga is going to drag him down after a gain of 3. But nice tough running by Kyle Whipple. Yeah,
he's had a good fourth quarter, that's for sure. Coach Crudden's got to be pleased with his team tonight, coming on the road, in a tough matchup. Obviously, Stonington's a little bit undermanned, but Windham did what they had to do here in the last 3 minutes of the game.
And not a deep Windham team. I mean, you're asking yourself, why is Arzwaga still on the field? Because they only have another
35 kids over there?
Yeah, I mean, if that. There's 11 on the field, and there's another 15 on the sideline. I mean, they don't even have 30 kids dressed tonight. Stonington has more kids dressed, but there's a lot of youth out there right now.
And the freshmen there, too, on the sidelines.
Handoff straight up the middle it goes to D. Dominicus.
Ball.
Nope, D. Dominicus is going to be down after a gain of 3. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5 for the Bears.
Stop up front. Windham playing solid defense. Stonington can try a couple different things here down the stretch. Give somebody some touches. Give everybody some touches. And just trying to make something happen here and see what they got in the last 2.5 minutes of the game. Coach Mazgill very positive on the sidelines, up coaching his kids, and just trying to keep everybody involved.
Clock running. We're heading down towards 2 minutes remaining in the ball game. Beausoleil is your wing. In motion, handoff to Teresi. Teresi to the right side. Teresi's got the corner. Teresi breaks a tackle. First down and more inside to Windham territory and out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Nice tough running by Nick Teresi.
2 flags on the play. One coming from the back judge and one coming from the umpire. It could have a hold and some extracurricular activity, Casey.
And we're not talking about paper mache.
No.
Or paper mache, as I like to call it. We'll see what the officials say. I think we're going to get exactly what you said, Sports Doctor. I think we're going to get a hold against Stonington and a unsportsmanlike against Windham. There's the hold is being picked up. We're picking up that flag. Dead ball foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Windham Whippets. And that is going to be a penalty that puts Stonington all the way down maybe to the 35-yard line of Windham, depending on where the flag was called. 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining here in the ball game.
So a good run on the play by senior tailback Nick Teresi, and tack on another 15 yards for good measure.
And that's going to take the ball all the way to the 32-yard line of Windham. So Stonington, with 2 minutes remaining in this game, trailing 43-13, has the ball 1st and 10 at the Windham 32-yard line. Beausoleil is one of your wings, along with Teresi. Of course, senior Amadi White has played a very tough game for the Stonington High School Bears tonight. He is still under center for the Bears.
Next week, game day rolls into New London High School. Will you be okay in the booth? Will you have rooting interest?
I've been doing games for a long, long time. I did games when I had just graduated from New London High School, and everyone knows that I bleed green and gold. I am a huge Whaler advocate, huge Whaler fan, and I will be, I will be rooting for New London deep inside, but the broadcaster will always remain impartial.
Sure.
In motion, Teresi. Handoff straight up the gut to David Allen, and Allen will have a gain of about 4 on first down. David Allen, the senior, getting some touches.
Yeah, a lot of guys handling the ball in the second. I kind of like that right now. The game's a little bit out of control, and again, we're going to reward some kids for showing up for practice this week and working hard. And there's nothing worse as a player or as a participant to practice your butt off all week and not get involved somewhere in the game.
Minute and a half remaining, 2nd and 6 for Stonington. They're trailing 43-13, trying to end this thing on a positive note. In motion, Teresi. White rolls. White pressured. White breaks a tackle, still on his feet, breaks another tackle, reverses field. Amadi White is all over the place, finally delivers the football, and he's got Allen at the 25. Allen all the way down to the 15-yard line. How did that play happen?
Amadi White was like Houdini on that play. He escaped every single lock, stock, and barrel on the field.
First of all, I don't know how he escaped all of that pressure. Second of all, I don't know how there wasn't an illegal man downfield.
There could have been.
And, I mean, they didn't.
I mean, from my vantage point,
that's unbelievable. And then the wherewithal to find Allen. What a play. 1st and 10 Stonington as we head down towards a minute. In motion, Teresi. White, straight drop. White throws. He's got a man, and it's incomplete. In and out of the hands of Aaron Beausoleil, who was hit right as he touched the ball by Cullen Contos. 2nd down and 10. We are under a minute remaining. 43 for Windham, 13 for Stonington, but Stonington is driving and knocking with the ball at their Windham 15-yard line.
Amadi White has certainly earned his money out on the field tonight. He has played very well. He's done everything he could, Casey, on both sides of the ball to keep the fight alive for the Stonington Bears. He's played a little defense. He's played a lot of offense. He's made some plays. They'll be tied at the end of the game if that's possible for an 18-year-old.
White under center. Fakes, rolls left. Amadi White keeps it, has the edge, gets down to maybe the 12-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and along 7, and we're now down to 45 seconds remaining here in the ball game. Windham on top, 44-13. It's going to be 3rd and 9 with the ball on the 13-yard line. Stonington with an opportunity to run perhaps 2 more plays. White has Allen as a setback. Beausoleil and Teresi. Beausoleil goes in motion. White rolls right, pressure, tries to get to the corner. White does get to the corner, back to the middle of the field, cuts back to his left, all the way towards the end zone, stiff arms, and we're waiting for the signal. Touchdown, Amadi White!
Amadi White making plays with his feet late in the game. He is an electrifying player to watch as Stonington, Casey, cashes in the last 30 seconds of the game.
The magician that is Amadi White. We have seen him do things tonight that we just did not think he could do.
Houdini.
17 seconds remaining, and Stonington is going to make sure that they play this thing out. 44 for Windham, 19 for Stonington. Seamus Wallace on for the extra point, and all White has to do now is hold for the extra point. Snap is good. Hold is down. Kick is up, and it is through, and it is good. And with 17 seconds remaining here in this ball game, Windham 44, Stonington 20. But you know what? You got to be proud of the Stonington High School Bears. They went down the field and had no quit in them whatsoever and scored a touchdown late on the feet and wherewithal of senior Amadi White.
Well, these are certainly things that Stonington could take and build on into next week's game. I mean, obviously, the scoreboard is not that vindicative. I know they got pushed around a little bit in the second half. But you know what? This is going to catapult them, Casey, into next week's game. It's a building block, and it gives you something positive to go back into the film study with and practice on Monday afternoon.
17 seconds remaining, and Amadi White has brought Stonington to within 24. 44 to 20. Windham on top, but that's just a tough, determined, and very, very, proud statement of the sort of maturity of Amadi White and the Stonington High School Bears.
Well, if Stonington's got a lot of young kids on the sidelines and a lot of sophomores and a lot of juniors, and you're going to look up to something, we talk about senior leadership, we talk about, either coaches or young men carrying the team, setting the tone. Well, a team's down by 4 touchdowns and there's no quit in their senior quarterback. That should set a tone, at least through this week of practice for the Stonington Bears.
Connor Woodworth will kick it off one more time for the Stonington High School Bears. The left-footed kicker has the ball at the 40. Cullen Contos is the deep back along with Seiji Arswaga for Windham.
You've done it all again tonight, too.
Woodworth approaches the ball at the 40, and he kicks a low-line drive taken by Contos at the 22. Contos tries to get to a corner, reverses field, nowhere to go, going in the wrong direction, and brought down. Nice job on coverage.
The flag on the play, it would be a late hit there on Stonington. A little chippiness as Contos was down on one knee. Overzealous Stonington defender gave him a little extra shove. Referee says, no thanks, not on my watch. That's going to cost you 15 yards.
Drew Bailey did a great job that time for Stonington to cover the play. And with 9 seconds remaining in the ball game, you'll see Windham take a knee and run this thing out. 44 to 20, the Whippets on top.
A video package, Casey, Tuesday morning. On the day.com.
Make sure you tune in. It's now must viewing. Must viewing on Tuesday morning. You check out your top 10 high school football teams in the day top 10 poll, and you get to watch the magic and genius of Peter Wappy as he and the great crew from the day put together what is the absolute must-watch of the week, the video highlight package on the Wired Zone. So with 9 seconds remaining, Windham will win this ball game. They're on top 44-20. Casey O'Neill, along with the sports doctor Keith O'Brien and the stat guru. Always a pleasure to bring you Friday Night Football on a beautiful crisp fall night here from Stonington. There's the knee by Labby, and the clock will tick down. Your final score from Stonington High School. The Windham Whippets will go to 3-0 with a 42-20 win over the Stonington High School Bears. And even though they're 0-3, Coach A.J. Massengale has a lot to hang his hat on tonight. A tough final effort by the Bears.
Yeah, good effort down the stretch here by Stonington. And Coach Crichton over on the other side with Windham, 40 years in the business, can still relate to the kids. And I think he's now finally starting to see 3 games into the season just what kind of football team he has. Good football game here tonight, Casey. Looking forward to next week at your alma mater, New London High School, as Ledyard comes into town.
Join us next week on game day as we do. Head down to Whalerville, and we'll see if the Ledyard High School Colonels, I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but those Colonels have a little bit of a New London flavor to them as well. They're coached, of course, by former New London great All-Stater Jimmy Bunicor. So the Whalers will have a big test. Tune in later to find out if the Whalers could come back against the Fitch Falcons tonight. And, of course, tomorrow, those Ledyard Colonels and the Bacon Academy Bobcats have a showdown of undefeated teams on a Saturday football game.
I'm going to try and get to that game if I don't go to the UConn football game. So I have football. You have music tomorrow. I have football. I'll be either at Stores or I'll be at Colchester.
I love it. I love it. For your game day crew, Keith O'Brien, the sports doctor, and the stat guru, I am Casey O'Neill. Drive safely. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.